It's time. It is that time. Time for Stiles and Watkins.
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140. Find us on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140.
It's time for Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Yes. On a Friday, Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. All-Star break is upon us. What is next for the Kings? Obviously, the All-Star festivities start tonight. We will rank them. Do they all stink? Do you like any? Have some overtaken others? Chris Watkins, how you doing?
Good. I don't want to step on that segment, but we were talking pre-show. Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan of the Celebrity All-Star game.
It's hilarious.
It's amazing.
And
it's incredible.
And we have a special edition of Prop Talk because there are props for Jennifer Hudson over under 5.5 points. Micah Parsons, I think, is at 8.5 points.
That's insane.
We're serious. Kai Cenat is at 8 points. No, you can't. That's the beauty of it. I'm about to have a lot of fun, more fun than I should this weekend. Simone behind the glass for us today. Thank you so much, Simone, for the work that you have done already and what we're going to ask you to do throughout the show. Daniel Tosh tickets, one last chance to win them. If you have not won them, that's at 1 p.m. And we are premiering a new segment at 1:45. This one is called Shoutouts and Closeouts. This is an opportunity for you to be a part of the show. We're just going to open up the phone lines. If you want to shout out your daughter's 8th grade basketball team, you got to be quick so we can get everybody in. An example would be, hey, just want to give a shout out to Marie's 8th grade basketball team, St. Perpetua. Good luck this weekend, all right?
Perpetua.
They beat us. They beat us in 8th grade.
That does not sound like a real thing.
No, they were nasty. All right?
Perpetually nasty.
Shout outs and closeouts, that is at 1:45. We'll have shout outs. You'll have shout outs. Text line, Sac Chat, by the way. I hopped in the Sac Chat, and I don't know if they're different names per show, but this was my first time. I was very nervous. Dave was doing a great job interviewing Monty McNair, and people came at me saying, hey, we're called the Chat Mob. Have you ever heard the Chat Mob? Is that a thing?
I have
because
not heard
we sat here for 2 months figuring out a name, and not one person said, hey, we're already called the Chat Mob.
It's a new initiative.
It's new.
It's new.
The Sac Chat was first?
Yeah.
Oh, then I don't want to. I don't want to hear that.
Missed that.
I don't want to hear that at all. Yeah, y'all can call. Yeah, if you want to be the Chat Mob.
They were identifying as the Sac Chat, and now they identify as the Chat Mob.
That's a morning thing. We know what it is from 10 a.m. 2 p.m. with the bad boys of the midday. And speaking of the bad boys, there is a bad woman out here, Caitlin Clark. My goodness. I mean, the one. Somebody was saying, I saw this a couple weeks ago when she was approaching Kelsey Plum's record, that nobody in men's basketball. We talk a lot about, NIL, and we spoke to a lot of people last week in Vegas about NIL, the transfer portal, and just the movement of these players and how it takes away. When was I know we're waiting for Cooper Flagg, but when was the last time there was somebody like a Zion in college basketball? We had March Madness. You literally, and nobody has even been close. I think Cade Cunningham, he was after Zion, but it was not like this. No. Caitlin Clark is doing something, I don't care, male, female, man, woman, whatever. She's doing something we haven't seen in a very long time. Yeah. And it probably
she's lifting a sport right now.
I mean, some of these ticket numbers, and she's doing it at Iowa. She's not doing it at Duke. She's not doing it at UConn. She's not doing it at LSU. So she is really about that life. We have sound that will play from her breaking that record. And now she's going after Pete Maravich. She's not done, and she can actually catch him. She's going to get him. This is crazy. So we're definitely going to continue to follow her and what she's doing for the sport in general. There are a couple interesting takes out there that we will react to, and I don't even think it's necessary for people to go this route. If anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, we'll get into it here after the first break. But yeah, I mean, I'm sitting there, man, the lines that they're showing. This is complete pandemonium, and I know you are a hoop head, men's hoops and women's hoops. Michael Porter Jr. just a couple weeks ago was saying something, and his mom played, his sister played, maybe he misspoke, whatever it is, but this is exciting. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. It's a spectacle. I mean, this is what everyone loved about the college basketball of old is that you get to build these stories and you get to really get familiar with these people. And really, I mean, for people who haven't been paying attention, the women's game has been doing this for the past couple of years. Like, I mean, the women's product, in my opinion, for college basketball has been a much more entertaining just story to follow. I mean, you had, even back in Kelsey Plum's day, she was incredible. She played at the same time as Sabrina Ionescu. That was great times for college basketball. And then you're just kind of seeing the passing of the torch with Caitlin Clark. And I'm telling you, my cousin, not actually, but cousin Juju Watkins, she's up next. She's going to take the mantle from Caitlin when she goes to the
50 burger.
She's dropped a 50 burger. She's got a couple 40 burgers. She's real. Juju Watkins is the one that is going to, I think, truly change the total perception of women's college basketball, because she's incredible. If you have not seen Juju Watkins play, she's at USC right now. Incredible. In my opinion, she's probably the second best player in women's college basketball right now. But that's what I think is going to be the mass allure for a lot of the casual viewers. Again, people who say, oh, I just missed the Grant Hill days, Christian Laettner. You got to fully know these guys and you understood the stories of all the teams, and the coaches had their own lore behind them. That is what women's college basketball is bringing right here, right now. So if you're somebody who longs for those old days of men's college basketball and the old Big East and all that stuff, there's elements of it in women's college basketball. You just got to look for it, and you got to keep an open mind.
One thing that I'm thinking about as we're having this conversation is that for someone to say that women's college basketball could become a better product than men's college basketball, your initial thought might be, wait, hold on now. But stick with me here. There is something extreme. There is a big shift that I don't think we've discussed enough as to why that could happen and why it can't be as crazy as it maybe initially sounds. And that's the G League. And that's overtime elites, right? These high profile players are no longer going to college. So the guys who do stay in college, they're one and dones, or they're transfers and you can't keep up with where they've gone. And then all the guys that are a step above, they're not going to college anymore anyway. Right. They're going to the G League and these other one-off G League situations. So it's not necessarily about the quote unquote product. It's about who's in college.
Sure.
Right? Anybody that's in college for the NCAA men's right now, not to say that they're not the cream of the crop. Maybe you're just making a decision. We're sitting here talking about Bronny. We don't think Bronny is ready. That USC team, aren't they fighting to get in the dance? They might not even get in the dance.
They're probably not going to. I think they're under 500.
I think it's not as crazy of a statement to say. And I know, and I'm curious, Chris, as we approach now, I think it might happen this season.
It's already happened. Well, the last year's Final Four for women's outviewed the men's by far. A lot more people paid attention to South Carolina, LSU. Caitlin Clark was in the Final Four last year. And what was the men's? It was San Diego State and UConn were in the final.
That's right.
I can't even tell you the other two teams.
I think UConn won it. I'm pretty sure
they did.
UConn won it.
I can't tell you the other two teams in the Final Four, and I think that's a statement on where men's college basketball is at. Sure.
It's not great.
No, it's terrible.
Not great.
Because to your point too, even if you are going to Duke or UNC, wherever, you're only going to be there for a year, and so you don't really get any time to get familiar with them, to get comfortable with their story, and then frankly, Bronny James, the entire conversation about Bronny James even entering the NBA is what's wrong with college basketball. That's a kid who, if Bronny James stays 4 years at USC, I think he has a lot better shot of getting drafted. You get to know him. You get to see the tangible progression of his game. It's going to get his name in the spotlight for a while. He might even be able to dominate in college for a minute, and he can learn some skills from that. Nobody's going to tune in to a 3-month rental of watching Zion Williamson play, or you have situations like Kyrie Irving, even where he played 11 games in college.
Here we go. The 209. Oh, please. Can we get back to real sports, please? Nobody cares about women's basketball. 209, you can get that out now because you're running out of time. And you sound ridiculous each and every day. All right?
Yep.
That's it. So we're not even going to. I didn't even want to acknowledge people like
16 years of Kings losing basketball.
Take.
Oh, and that's fine because you probably say those stupid little jokes that we've heard this, that, the third. All right, this is our show. We're gonna open it how we want, and this is the biggest story in sports.
Yep.
It's the All-Star break.
Yep.
It's the All-Star break. How much time do we spend talking about the Kings doing this, the Kings doing that?
Yep.
If you don't want to listen, turn it off. We'll get to a break. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Has Monty put together a roster that can help make a deep playoff run this season?
Just trying to give coach options, give him guys that can help us win in a variety of areas. Obviously, our top guys are going to play every game, but there's going to be other times, whether it's injuries, matchups. We've got to have some variety on the bench for coach to point to and say, go in there and help us win.
Tune into every Kings game this season
on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Hey, California. Sellathon means big savings. Sellathon means great selection. Sellathon means 5 days to save. So visit your California Ford dealer now through President's Day and get great offers on the most popular Ford trucks and SUVs. Like the built Ford Tough F-150, part of Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 47 years and counting. Or the adventure-ready Ford Bronco Sport with GOAT modes to help you conquer the great outdoors. And the always electrifying Ford Mustang Mach-E with 0 to 60 thrills and 0 emissions. It's the Ford President's Day Sellathon. And that means now is the best time to get behind the wheel of your brand new Ford truck or SUV and drive it home today. But hurry, these offers absolutely end February 19th. So go to your California Ford dealer today. Based on 1977 to 2023 calendar year total sales.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Scoops a pass to Clark. Logo 3. Got it. 22 is now number 1. Caitlin Clark is the NCAA's all-time scoring leader in women's basketball history. Fitting a logo 3.
Yeah, it was just great. It was just great, and the way she did it was outstanding. And I was going to say, Chris, I think a part of this, as we get into some of our All-Star talk, by the way, we will be reacting to Monty McNair's sound a little bit later in the show. The last day before All-Star break definitely had some fireworks with the Bucks losing to the Grizzlies. They're a mess, and Doc Rivers is starting to throw people up. That's what he does.
Yeah.
You heard him last night. Some people are already in Cabo. This is what he does. He throws people under the bus. Doc Rivers has always done that. And Klay Thompson balls out off the bench. I'll tell you what, we didn't do prop talk yesterday because the Kings didn't play. I know people that may have been a part of it, and I'll tell you what I told them. Klay Thompson coming off the bench, and I tweeted it actually. I said 30 points, lock it in. That's what Klay does.
Crazy.
That's what Klay does. And he had, what did he have, 35, 37?
35, yeah.
And they almost blew it. They still almost blew that game.
They tried.
Until John Collins threw the ball.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's landed yet. You know, remember back in, what was that, 2020, 2021, the good old days of memes where people would, when something would happen and they would make it way more ridiculous. Like
I feel like I know where this is.
The one that I remember off the top of my head was Rudy Gobert when Steph put him in a mixer, and then they put him on a disco, you know what I mean? He's doing disco. He's doing, what's that game where you have to reach when you have
Twister,
he's
or
on
Dance
the
Dance
Twister.
Revolution.
Yes, he's on Dance Dance. He's on Twister. If this was 2020, yes, exactly. I miss that. I miss that time of memes, and because if we were in those times, John Collins, that ball would have went to outer space. It would have hit an astronaut. Okay, it would have hit Pluto.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what I thought it got tipped, and it didn't. He just chucked that thing, and he had no clue what to do, and the Jazz had an opportunity. A Jazz team that you said keep an eye on, them maybe, creeping up. So they weren't able to get it done.
Would have been a big one.
That's kind of how I feel like the rest of the season is going to go for the Jazz, but just like that, they might win some of those games.
Yeah.
They're going to be in games.
Yeah.
And by the way, Colin Sexton, when did he become a dude? Like this, though.
I mean, that's kind of a tough one to answer because you could say he's kind of always been a dude like that. He's always been a dog, that's for sure. I remember there were clips when Colin Sexton was in high school of him. He had this great moment where this guy's talking trash to him on the free throw line, and he just turns and like gets his hands on his knees and just stares at him.
But that is how we remember Colin Sexton. And then
he also had the 4-on-5 game infamously where he was at Alabama. He had teammates foul out. They only had 4 available players, and he scored 41. And I think they either won or almost beat somebody playing 4-on-5. In the NBA, it hasn't really worked out for him. I mean, he's a high volume shooter. I still don't think he's destined to be a starter. He's kind of like in the Dennis Schroeder tier of players where he could start, but he's probably just a high level backup.
Yeah. Was he the one that got drafted to the Cavs right before LeBron left?
I know he was on the Cavs.
I think we could do some things together, and LeBron
sounds about right.
You gonna have fun in Cleveland, and he got out of there. Yeah. So Colin Sexton, he had over 30 last night. He balled out, and the Jazz weren't able to seal the deal. They shot. You would have thought that they were facing the Kings the way they shot the 3-ball, but they end up blowing it in the end.
That could have put them a half game behind Golden State for that 10 seed.
It's gonna look
a bad loss.
It's gonna be a race, and like we said, if you were listening to the Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross show, they were talking, or Carmichael Dave was speaking with Monty McNair. So we will react to all of that. Obviously, we're prepping for the show, so we're re-listening to everything as the show goes on. But from what we heard, he had some good things to say, and it's essentially, Chris, what we thought. There's no point. There's nothing now because you can't make a trade. So they're gonna see how far they go.
Yep.
And Monty did not say this, but I don't know. Whenever you hear make some noise to me. When's the last time a team was supposed to make some noise and won a championship?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
If you're in the make some noise category, right, that's let's get to the second round, feel good about things.
Yep. Maybe go 7 in a first round exit.
That's some noise.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, where is the line of noise? Did the Kings make some noise last?
Like, is going 6 in the first round, is that noise?
To me, making noise is getting to the second round. You can lose the second round.
Okay.
Like, I don't think the Kings made noise last season.
I think they did.
No.
I think 7 is the line.
Maybe relative
that's where
noise.
You start.
Maybe relative noise.
You know?
They were the 3 seed, though.
Yeah. But they were going against the defending. Like, that was,
the Lakers made some noise.
The Lakers definitely.
From the 8 seed.
They absolutely
wherever
made
they
some
were.
Noise.
The Lakers made some noise.
I guess it is all kind of relative, because would you say Golden State made
relative.
noise?
No.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Right. It is. So, yes, the Kings made some noise.
Yeah.
The Kings made some noise.
But
this season, you're not making noise. You're not, quote unquote, you did not make noise if you don't get out of the first round.
Yes, absolutely. This has become one of those situations where you say something so many times. I'm like, is that even now make noise? I'm like, that is that even? Yeah,
right.
Is
like
that
if
even
you say pajamas too many times. Pajamas.
You had that way too ready to go.
Because I think about it often. If you say pajama too often, you just think, man,
okay,
this is a weird one. Yeah, so
you're not wrong.
So
yeah,
Monty McNair and whether or not the Kings could, make some noise, whatever that noise is, and assuming that they don't win the whole thing, something's going to change.
Yeah.
I don't know what, but something is going to change. And honestly, man, as much as I think we've all said, hey, Malik's got to stay in Sacramento. We know he loves the city. He rides for the city. There's only, and I'm telling you right now, Chris, I'm coming out hot this morning. Okay. I shouldn't have read that text out loud. I'll be completely honest with you. I should not have read that text out loud, but you can't, it is what it is. I already did it. Because to me, there's only 2, and I'm not misspeaking here, Chris. To me, there are only 2 untouchables on this roster right now.
Mm-hmm. And is it the obvious 2?
And it's the obvious 2. Okay. That's where I'm at right now. And I could be prisoner of the moment.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where I want to go with, because I hear what you're saying. I do. Like, I think if you overall, like you're saying, if you want to stop talking about making noise and want to actually win it, like talk about winning championships, that kind of almost has to be how you approach the offseason. Now, whether or not that's actually how you execute the plan, different. But, I do think you kind of do have to have that kind of mentality of, look, we don't want to move on from Keegan.
Exactly.
But to say flat out, we're just not going to have conversations about it, that might not be that might not be the best way of approaching things. Like, I think you have to, especially in today's NBA where everybody's got guys. Like, I'm sure OKC would say Jalen Williams is untouchable. But again, like, if you're going to say, hey, trade me Jalen Williams and you can get Giannis Antetokounmpo, like, you're tripping if you're not going to have that conversation because you like Jalen Williams so much. So, yeah, I mean, it's a tough one to swallow, but I mean, it is kind of the way of the NBA. If you want to get better, we saw it with the Tyrese Halliburton Sabonis trade. Some things are going to sting and they might feel bad in the moment, but you've got to risk it to get the biscuit, right? Like you're going to have to at some point and you could argue the risk was already taken by getting Sabonis, but I would say that was the risk you took to get to this level.
Right.
Now, if you want to get to another level, there's some more risk involved, and that risk might even be bigger than the first risk you took. So it's scary to say, but I think I'm with you that, you know what, I might even push back and say there's really only one untouchable.
And who is that?
I don't know if you have to have
one of the two.
Yeah. I think, again, if you might need to consider, like, depending on who the caliber of player you're looking at, you might have to ship off a Sabonis or Fox. Now, of course, that's talking you're trading all-star for multiple time all-NBA person at that point, but you got to keep an open mind if you're really trying to win a championship.
Yeah, that's the thing. And as far as I think that everybody and Kings fans probably don't want to hear this, but this is kind of you want to see what happens. Anything can happen. They are undefeated against the defending champs. The Kings definitely have a chance to make some noise and do some things. But this is also doubling as a tryout for the future, right? And if Keegan continue, when we look at Keegan's season, he had some high highs. He had some kind of
move on from him.
You're not going to. No, but I think that if he continues to play offensively the way he is right now, and that's how the season ends, you have to look at things. I'm just saying everything's on the table.
Early. I think that might be too early to like full on move on from him.
So he's untouchable then?
I wouldn't say he's untouchable. It doesn't have to be one or the other. Like, you can not have intentions of moving somebody, but like not say they're untouchable.
No. I'm not saying have intentions. I'm just saying when they said, okay, all I'm saying is the way that the Kings approached the trade deadline, we have the 7. Basically, our rotation we don't want our rotation to change. I'm just saying that should not be the case in the summer.
Okay. Yeah. I would
you know what I mean?
That. Yeah.
That shrinks a little bit. Not to say you're shipping them off, or or not to say you're shopping them, but it can't be that 7, because that 7 is why you didn't make noise or didn't make enough noise. All right. Got to get to a break. When we get back, rounding out what happened last night in the NBA. Also, the NBA is going a little bit too tech, and it's getting creepy. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and The Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters right here in Sacramento, for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with 0 down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall. Your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
0 down with approved credit.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and me the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Jiffy Lube, your place for oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. Hey, for valuable coupons and a location near you, visit jiffylube.com.
RC Willey has everything for your home, including furniture, mattresses, appliances, electronics, and flooring. With our vast selection, it's easy to find items that fit your style and your budget. We also offer a variety of finance options, including 0 down and 0 interest for 18 months. Whether you're looking to establish new credit or ready to make your space more cozy, we can help. With our flexible finance options, you can easily update your home one piece or one room at a time. Plus, we have a low price guarantee. Let us help you make your home your way at RC Willey.
Welcome to the President's Day sale, happening now at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Celebrate with us and get huge savings on our giant selection. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company. Sold on report.
I like daffodils, tulips, the big dinner plate dahlias. I loved being in the garden, but I wasn't going to be able to because I couldn't not only walk, but I couldn't really stand on my foot without being in pain. It was excruciating. So my husband said, let's go to the Good Feet store.
For over 20 years, we've helped people like Terry live the life they love without letting their feet get in the way.
This nice young man said, I think I can help you. He got the arch support and I was fitted. And I kept walking back and forth across the store. And I looked at my husband and burst into tears because it was the first time in a year that I have not had any pain in my foot. I have had no pain since the day I bought him. Now I can do whatever I want. There isn't any place on my property that doesn't have flowers blooming 365 days a year. I still can't believe it. My name is Terry, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
For sore feet, aching back, knee, or hip pain, come to the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, or Vacaville.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
We are back. Shout out to the Sac Chat or the Chat Mob, however you are identifying yourself these days. Also, shout out to the text line. All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop, 916-339-1140. Daniel Tosh giveaway, thanks to Live Nation. That's at 1 p.m. We're going to open up the phone lines, 916-339-1140, if you want to be a part of the conversation. This is from the text line, Chris. I think you guys are to some degree missing the point. Monty is trying to build a perennial contender, and that takes patience and growth. Breaking up what you're trying to build too soon is not how that is achieved. I don't see his philosophy as mortgaging the future to grab one championship. I see his plan as trying to be in the mix for an extended period of time.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you. I mean, and I understand that that's what Monty's trying to do, but, you're not going to win a championship with this current crop of guys.
That's also purgatory.
Yeah.
That's purgatory.
Yeah.
You're the Zebo Grizzlies.
Exactly.
Is that what you want? Now, like we said, this is why he didn't make a move this go round, because you haven't been in the playoffs for a very long time. Yeah. But what exactly are you trying to grow? And maybe, I see you from the 916. If Alan Stiles was the GM for the Kings, we would revert back to the playoff drought. Keegan is only in his second year. Relax. That is from Nick. Yeah. Thank you, Nick. Okay, maybe the Keegan thing was a little hot.
It definitely was.
Okay.
Yeah. We're not moving on from Keegan Murray.
Okay.
That's not happening.
But you got to do something.
Well, look at Scotty Barnes last year.
Yeah.
Scotty Barnes was terrible last year, and you had to go through a sophomore slump, and you gotta let these, they're progressing. They gotta work through some stuff in order to get to where they're eventually going to be. He's only in year 2. Keegan in year 6 is going to be a completely different player. You got to give him some time to develop, and that's the Kings' highest pick, with the exception of Marvin Bagley in a really long time. The Kings aren't just going to move on from it.
I'm not saying to move off of Keegan for a bag of Skittles and
sure.
some Old Bay shrimp.
Yeah.
I'm saying if something legit, if lobster, Okay, if something comes across.
Sure. I think it would just help more if you had like because I still think people, when they say like, oh, you're going to trade Keegan Murray for a win, because like this person's argument is, Monty's going to shell out for one championship. And I think if you were to say like, no, like Keegan Murray for, I don't know, I can't think of any young player that puts you over the top. But I think that's where it's like, they feel like you're saying trade Keegan Murray for, some guy who's probably just a right now better version of Keegan Murray instead of, looking down the line.
530 stats are coming out about how Keegan has the best isolation defensive numbers in the NBA this year. Yeah, we've read them. Look at Kawhi Leonard's offensive numbers from his first 2 years, and Keegan is ahead. I'm not saying he's going to be Kawhi, but can he be close? In my mind, it would take a no-brainer deal to trade him. Yeah. All right, I'm getting flamed. I did not say to trade Keegan. I said,
you said you got to open it up essentially to
you
be
said there
willing
were two
to
untouchables.
Trade.
Yes, and I'm sticking by that. But if there is a not really touchable category, that's Keegan.
I hear what you're saying. I just think it's a tough sell to try and tell people that. I mean, I hear what you're saying. Like,
you'd have to see the deal. What's the deal?
Yeah, exactly. Like things change when you say, "Oh, the Kings are." Again, I'm really blanking on trying to think of like, because nobody's really available.
I would say Jalen Williams if they wanted, but they wouldn't do that deal.
Like why? Yeah, you wouldn't do that. There's just not really like a big star name out there that's young and seemingly available that changes championship windows. I think that's it. Like, let's say Karl Anthony Towns. How about that?
That's a good one.
I don't want the Kings to ship off Keegan Murray for Karl Anthony Towns.
Okay.
Like just period. Like I don't think that Karl Anthony Towns is changing this team's championship form. Like I don't think they're changing the equation on whether the Kings are more or less likely to win a title.
Okay. What if we're just having fun here.
Sure.
This is what happens when the Kings don't play till Thursday, by the way. Karl Anthony Towns. I know you like this guy, Jaden McDaniels.
Okay.
For Keegan, HB, Herter, and
you got to trade tons of picks though too. Picks. Like it's just not worth it. I think that's where Kings fans are lying right now. Is there's not really a package you can make that seems like. I just think I think the thing that Kings fans feel, and I think Monty feels it as well, is the risk of giving up on what Keegan could be isn't worth whatever you're getting back. I think we just firmly believe right here, right now, that the trajectory that Keegan Murray is on is worth figuring out. It's worth investing in personally and not giving up on for somebody else that, frankly, I mean, yeah, if you trade for Karl Anthony Towns, it's not like Cat's walking in and changing your team. You would still have to go through some developmental years with Cat as well. And I just think that trade-off isn't worth it. We would much rather, in a way, it's kind of like the devil you know versus the devil you don't know.
Yeah, look, like I said, I don't want to move off Keegan, and maybe I'm being a little bit prisoner of the moment. Okay, I can be honest and say that because offensively, Keegan has not been lighting it up lately. But this is what happens. This is the Allen jinx. This is what happens. After I brought up the beam, the Kings won, I think, 5 or 6 straight. What's going to happen on Thursday? Keegan's going for 40.
Keegan's going to win the Rising Stars Challenge tonight.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
Crazy.
Book it right now for Prop Talk. Keegan's going to win it, and I'm going to have people in my DMs. Didn't you want to move Keegan and the beam for a bag of potato chips? I was like, no, I didn't say that. I did not say that. Speaking of, look, this is a guy who I know we haven't really talked about that comp the same way. Everybody likes the Kawhi comp. I have always thought
like the Chris Middleton comp too.
The Chris Middleton comp. I think Keegan can be more explosive than Clay, but I always thought that was an obvious comp.
Yeah, I mean, it makes some sense for sure, like a bigger Clay. It's just tough to say he's going to be the second best shooter of all time.
No, I'm just saying in that ilk, right?
Yeah.
And speaking of Clay, first time coming off the bench since I think his rookie year, 2012, something crazy like that. And Klay Thompson, what does he do? He balls out. And, the way I want to kind of spin this is I know the Kings are above the Warriors in the standings, but every team's philosophy is different. I know that Coach Mike Brown does things differently to Steve Kerr, but it just goes to show that nobody should be untouchable. And I know there hasn't been a lot of Harrison Barnes hate lately because he's been balling out. He had 20 in Denver. But as we head towards this push to the playoffs and trying to figure out this rotation, I still don't. Are we to the point now where it's all right? This starting lineup is what it is, because Kevin Huerter has not been lighting it up. I know he does other things. I know he plays really darn hard, but Kevin Huerter hasn't been lighting it up. Sure. Is the Clay thing different? Because even though we joke about pods, Brandon Pajemski, right, he has been balling, and there's nobody on the Kings that is pushing Kevin Huerter out of the lineup.
That's what it is. It's the fact that there's no clear replacement. Like, it could be true that Kevin Huerter is not playing well enough to lock down a starter spot, but if nobody is really earning that spot for him, it's kind of tough. The politics of it is tough to tell Kevin, like, hey, we're just gonna bench you because we don't like what you're doing, and we might not like what Chris Duarte is doing either, but at least it's different. That's just like that. You gotta have a bit of a reward system when you're a coach, and like, you can't just reward guys for nothing. Like, they have to earn the spot. And it was a problem. I think it was a problem last year in the playoffs too, where HB wasn't playing very well. Even Keegan wasn't playing very well, and Kevin Huerter wasn't shooting well, but nobody else was playing well enough to justify entering the starting lineup. And it takes two to tango. You have to be able to throw someone in there. And I think we could maybe see Chris Duarte. I mean, we saw him entering that fourth quarter. Wouldn't surprise me if he gets some second half minutes. Maybe there's an opportunity for a Chris Duarte resurgence, and he can push that, because we know Mike Brown likes how Duarte defends. That would be the one that I would look at. But besides that, like, I can't see Trey Lyles pushing for the starting lineup. I not that he's not capable. I just don't think there's going to be a combo of HB playing poorly enough and Trey playing consistently well enough to justify it.
Got to get to a break. When we get back, continuing the conversation, and we have sound from the Monty McNair interview. If you missed it, Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Whether you prefer thrills or serenity, the 2024 Accord from Elk Grove Honda delivers both. With Honda Sensing Standard, the 2024 Accord is once again a winner of the 2024 Car and Driver's 10 Best Cars, making Honda the winningest brand in car and driver award history. Drive a 2024 Accord Hybrid and see for yourself what the fuss is all about. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light, Garner Roofing, and Roseville Kitchen and Bath.
The sewer system. It's probably the last thing on your mind, and that's okay. Because at the Sacramento Area Sewer District, it's our first priority. As the region's largest sewer utility, we own and maintain thousands of miles of sewer pipe. And our job is to get to your sewer problem before it interrupts your life. So whether you've got a slow drain or a backup, call us first, day or night. The Sacramento Area Sewer District. It's a dirty job, but we're happy to do it.
37,000, 25, 1. These are the 3 numbers to remember to get the visibility and control you need to make the right business decisions instantly. 37,000. That's the number of businesses which have upgraded to NetSuite by Oracle. NetSuite is the #1 cloud financial system, streamlining accounting, financial management, inventory, HR, and more. 25. NetSuite turns 25 this year. That's 25 years of helping businesses do more with less, close their books in days, not weeks, and drive down expenses. 1. Because your business is one of a kind, so you get a customized solution for all of your KPIs in one efficient system with one source of truth. Manage risk, get reliable forecasts, and improve margins. Everything you need to grow, all in one place. Right now, download NetSuite's popular KPI checklist designed to give you consistently excellent performance absolutely free at netsuite.com/company. That's netsuite.com/company to get your own KPI checklist. netsuite.com/company.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Kyle Draper here from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Now, I took the half-hour drive to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton, and I came home with the finest car I've ever owned. I'm rocking that brand new EQS SUV they outfitted me with, and it's stylish and so comfortable. I love Mercedes cars. Also, Mercedes builds amazing commercial vehicles. Now, if you own a business, Mercedes builds commercial vans capable of any job. And with special interest rates as low as 4.9% on new Sprinter vans, plus the available tax breaks on Sprinter vans for commercial use, choosing a Mercedes van is a smart move. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton has a huge full-service commercial fleet center. Go see my good friends at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Just a half-hour drive down I-5 from Sac, and it's online all the time at mbofstockton.com. That's mbofstockton.com.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
All right, I've already been getting flamed today, so let's just keep it going. Simone, put it on the poll.
Oh, no.
Put it on the poll. Because we can lay it to rest.
Sure.
If we lose, we lose. All right? Can you put it on the poll, Simone? Sack chat or chat mob?
Oh, I got you. Yeah. I thought it was going to be way more inflammatory than that.
Lose. I know we're going to lose, but,
dang.
What's funny to me is that y'all came up with the name. We said, hey, what do you want? Okay, now, why is Dave still here?
Go home, dude. Like, what are you doing?
Why is Dave is coming in here?
It's literally Friday.
Did you leave your phone?
Probably. Go home.
You left your phone.
Oh, man. Like,
now he's behind the glass. Why are we being hoodwinked and bamboozled?
Led astray.
What is going on?
Man,
all right.
That's fine. Dave just can't let us have anything.
Yeah.
Man. That's fine. He probably heard that we were calling it Sack Chat, and he was like, oh, wait, no.
That's right.
I got to
come up with something else.
No way.
Dave, look, you did a great job. You interviewed Monty McNair. We're about to play the sound. You did it. You did good. Go home, make some brisket, whatever you got going on, and we'll see you Monday. The hardest working man in Sacramento. Okay. There you go. Yeah. There you go.
I'm off next week, dude.
All right. Well, then why are you here?
Let's be nice.
Come on, man. Back to England.
Back to England he goes.
All right. From the 916 on the text line. I don't know if there's an argument about whether it's called the text line or not. Start Monk. Let Kevin Huerter be the second string scorer. Also seeing something similar on the Sack Chat mob. I'll just say the Sack Chat mob.
We can all win.
There you go. About starting Monk, which we've seen time and time again. Yep. I just don't know. Look, we
need to get that Nick Saban sound. It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Quit asking.
But is there a world where, as we bring up Klay Thompson as a shooter, something like that could happen with Kevin Huerter? Come out. Maybe it's this, Chris. Right now, Kevin Huerter, he's working really hard. He's trying to work defensively, trying to get his rebounds right. Maybe if he comes in and he's up against the second string, the second rotation, maybe he can focus on shooting. Is that a crazy thing to kind of go with?
I mean, it could, I mean, it can all help. Like, I think going to the bench could help him settle his nerves. It could be he's putting too much pressure on himself at this point to hit shots, and maybe, coming off the bench, there could be a little bit of time for him to breathe, sit on the bench, let the game kind of play out. And then by the time he's out there, maybe, he's mentally more prepared. I don't know, man. Like, when it comes, I was not a shooter, so I cannot really explain the mentality of shooters and all that goes into it. In a way, shooters are kind of like kickers in the sense that, they're just they're creatures of habit. And once they kind of get one thing in their head, it all kind of snowballs. So I just think Kevin needs to find some form of comfort wherever that is. He's been playing better offensively of late, and absolutely his defense has been much, much improved this year. I think he's second on the team in deflections, which is the Kings' #1 defensive metric. So I know that's really important to Mike Brown and just with Kevin's ability to stay on the floor. But, his offense is why he's Kevin Huerter. He's the reason why he's in the NBA. And so if he's not hitting 38+% of his shots, it's concerning. And so however the Kings can kind of figure out what's best for him, of course it's going to be best for the team. It wouldn't surprise me if he ends up on the bench for a couple games, but I don't think that right now they're actively waiting for somebody to take that spot. I think that they're okay with Kevin kind of going up and down because, frankly, it hasn't been as up and down as this, but Klay Thompson does this all the time too, where he not just, where he's been recently, but even in the good Klay days, he'd be bad for a week. He'd be bad for a couple weeks. And then come playoff time, like it would even be mid-playoff series, Klay Thompson would be cold for 2-3 games and then catch fire. So it's kind of just the nature of the beast a bit. And I think the problem is the Kings have been so reliant on those three-point shots that it's put a little bit of extra pressure when Kevin doesn't make them. To me, the answer is be less reliant on those Kevin Huerter threes so it's not so crushing when he is off.
Yeah, and look, that's why what happened a couple nights ago was so impressive, to shoot 27% from three and to get the W against the defending champs, because that's not a win. That hasn't been a win. We looked it up, right? They have not won a game shooting that low or anything close to it. So that is something that you don't want to have to live with, but at least we know it's not a complete L anymore. All right, let's hear from that great interview that Dave had with Monty McNair about the inconsistencies, not just with Kevin Huerter, but with the whole team.
I think our guys, in some ways, showing that we can reach those peaks makes the other ones even more frustrating. It'd be different if, hey, you know what, this team, they don't have that or they don't have this, but we've beaten some really, really good teams in some really tough situations. So to show that we can do that and then not be able to follow through on some of the others is frustrating. We definitely feel that frustration. And I think for us, though, it just shows upside in this group. If you can beat Denver on the road, you can do a lot of things. Now let's go figure out what happened those other nights. What can we fix? Because we still got a chance down the stretch here to put ourselves in a good position for April and May. And it's not too late, but those things hurt us. We can't let any more of those happen.
And he continues to kind of talk about how they can be more consistent. Here it is.
And this is what we've talked about. We want to be a consistent winning franchise. And we're at the baby steps of that. But having a second year where we are, it's funny. We were talking last year as we were going through as a front office, like, man, the fans are loving this. How quickly till it's not good enough. And, the answer is less than a year. And in a lot of ways, we love that because very quickly, a playoff berth is just not good enough, and we want to advance. So I love that the fans do that. But for us, it's we got to be able to continue to bring in talent throughout. And I think playing for Coach Brown, playing with guys like Foxy and Domas and Keegan and on, those guys, players want to play with those guys. Players want to win. They want to be a part of something special, which I think we're building here.
That first part is really interesting. After the last thing he says in that first clip didn't really cross my mind. But again, I think I said that Denver win is a real statement win. It's a character win. The fact that Monty says there, if you can win in Denver, it really does kind of prove that you can win in any situation. Like I set it up that game was the definition of a schedule loss. To fly from Phoenix to Denver in 23 hours between a game, back to back. It's the last game before the All-Star break. In that altitude, in order to win that game, takes a lot of perseverance, a lot of will. And I do think I really hope that they look at that game as the example of what this team can accomplish. Because again, like you said, that's a really ugly win. And if you can find beauty in an ugly win, to me, that's where this team takes another leap, is saying, we almost view it as a negative how inconsistent this team is. But if you can figure out how to win in those inconsistencies, that's the thing that turns, teams that are floundering in the 4 through 8 range or 5 through 8 range into the top 4 consistently, into the top 2. And that's something that I would like to see this team just kind of lean more into is, I think everybody wants to play like the Warriors. Everyone wants to be flashy and, move the ball around all over and take threes, but that's not the only way to win a basketball game. Look at the New York Knicks traditionally have won very, very ugly. My hope would be that this Kings team can start to figure out how to win those ugly games way more consistently.
Yeah. And, I think what he says that I really like there is just the fact that we know what they're trying to get to, right? I really do love it, Chris. I mean, no matter what type of job you have, right, everybody can appreciate transparency and being transparent about hearing from the fans and understanding that this thing does move quickly, right? 16 years. We asked that earlier in the season. How much grace will there be given? And I think there's some fans that are cool with, hey, let's just make sure that we go back to the playoffs, which is still not a done deal quite yet, right? So even to be in that situation, I do think that I won't call it fool's gold, but I will say that being that 3rd seed shouldn't probably change people's expectations, even though we all know that those amount of wins wouldn't typically be a 3 seed, right? So I guess in a way it was a bit of a down year for the Western Conference. So now getting back into, now we're in an up year for the Western Conference. I think that Kings fans may have said, oh, well, this kind of what's going on here. And we have those numbers to see, look, pretty similar records and where they are this year compared to last year. Everything can be different, but kudos to Monty McNair for just being honest about the fact that, hey, we understand what the expectation is. We're trying to get there. And to a lot of the points that we discussed, we're not going to completely mortgage our future just to maybe cobble something together. Because we talked about the trade deadline, and maybe teams are learning, and maybe again it's just the Minnesota T-Wolves screwing up the amount of picks, right? But that and the market, because nobody made any moves, and we've seen, hey, going to get that star. We'll see what happens with the Knicks. The Knicks didn't wait until the end of the trade deadline, though. Right. So, or the Pacers. So we'll see what happens with them. And I think I don't think they made those moves hoping to win a championship this season either. It just doesn't happen. So you got to be willing to build, and you got to be willing to lose some guys that you feel like you can make up for. And I don't think the Kings felt like they could do that and didn't want to do that in a rush fashion. As my uncle always says, haste make waste. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, NBA AI is very confusing, but they're talking about it. We will discuss when we get back, and more Kings talk. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Shop can't miss deals on appliances this President's Day at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $75 on every $750 you spend on all major appliances, like LG, America's most reliable line of home appliances. Shop in-store or online for more deals you can't beat. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 2/28. Savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for more details.
O'Reilly.
You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Elevate your drive with Acura of Stockton's President's Day savings. Unleash luxury and precision in a new Acura Integra, RDX, MDX, or TLX. Quality meets affordability with savings on our best selection. Get to AcuraofStockton.com and start your experience today. Own the road in style. Visit us today or go to AcuraofStockton.com. Elevate your drive with Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips.
Plantar fasciitis feels like pointed, sharp pain, very intense. It can make your eyes water. It makes you walk funny because you're trying to get pressure off your heel. I had instability. I was so frustrated. I didn't know what to do. And I was driving past the Good Feet store. I mean, why not? Give it a try.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Teresa actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
They wanted to make sure they fitted me with the right thing. And so they brought out several different arch supports and gave me the opportunity to try them in shoes and walk around with them until they found the perfect ones for my feet. I had no idea that they would be that patient, and I had no idea they would be that kind. And you just knew, like, your feet, just when they got on the right ones, they were like, oh yeah. And it really did make a big difference. It made my foot not hurt. I'm Teresa, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Hey, it's Doug Christie here for Folsom Lake Ford. During the President's Day Sell-a-thon, get 0 down deals on approval of credit, huge discounts, and top dollar for all trades. Shop your truck headquarters at FolsomLakeFord.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. KHTK-AM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports.
Movie mode and make a live game look like your favorite film. Make a live game look like your favorite film.
Mm-hmm.
So the way I'm seeing it is
it almost looks like if you were to turn a basketball game into like the Spider-Verse.
Yes, it literally looks like that. So I don't know why they're saying, like, I don't know, and that's supposed to be Hoosiers based on what Wemby says. I don't understand this. I don't know why anybody would do this. And is this happening live? I mean, I guess it's impressive, but it's just bizarre.
Yeah, it's just weird. I guess it's cool technology, but yeah, the practical use of it, I don't understand at all. Like, I don't know why anyone would choose to do this. Like, I would guess it's maybe for kids, but it almost like touches like the Super Bowl being broadcast on Nickelodeon, where it's like I don't know how many people are actually going to care about this being a thing. Like, it's okay. Like, it's again, it's interesting technology, but the practicality of it is just, it's not there at all. I have no idea who on earth would decide. It's like, you remember last year, or it might've been a couple years ago, the Brooklyn Nets had like a whole VR watching experience where the entire court was like, you could essentially walk onto the court and watch the game from there. It's cool, but I don't think the technology is quite there yet to be showing it off, on NBA All-Star Weekend.
This guy, Ross Pins, who is a Bulls content creator, responds to the NBA and says, "Nobody asked for this. Literally all we want is a league pass without local market blackouts." That's all.
I mean, yeah,
that's all.
There's a lot of things wrong with the game, and this just, yeah, I mean, the NBA app has definitely gotten better, but there's a lot of things that they could internally improve on that just is not this. Like, again, I don't know who's clamoring for this. I don't know who the target audience is for. I guess maybe it's just, hey, like, right now it doesn't look cool. Maybe in 4 or 5 years this will turn into something. But again, I don't really know what they expected, even the excitement level for this would be, because it's just honestly, it's not that cool. It's just not that cool.
No, the only thing I could see is, again, probably mostly for kids. Like, I think if I wanted my daughter to sit still, she would be more inclined to sit still watching this than the actual game. But to me, maybe it would be cool to watch if your team won a championship, more so after the fact than live. I don't really understand the live part of that. Yeah, so they're doing stuff. That's what the NBA does. It's a lot of stuff, and that is what they're doing. Getting back into some Kings talk. By the way, Daniel Tosh ticket giveaway at 1 p.m. Simone will pick the number. As she joins us, doing a great job for us today. And by the way, let's just look who's winning the poll. Look who's winning the poll right now. All right.
Ooh, Sack Chat, 53%.
Sack Chat is beating the chat mob. Just, Dave, I know you're listening in your car or your plane on your private jet.
Or literally in the board op room
or still in the board op room. Just
got his burners out. He's voting.
Exactly. Things are going to change soon. I shouldn't have said anything. And, if you look at the Kings and you compare them to last season, I think it does put a lot of things in perspective. Okay. This is from Tim Maxwell. 2023 compared to 2024 up to the All-Star break league record. They were 8th in the league record last season. They are 13th this season. In the Western Conference standings, they were 3rd last season. They are currently 8th. And offensive rating, they were 2nd last season. This season, they are 14th. Defensive rating, they were 23rd last season. This season, they are 18th. Net rating, they were 7th last season. I mean, that offense was just ridiculous.
It was broken.
Ridiculous. And in 2024, this season, they are 17th in net rating.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it speaks more to the other teams than to the Kings. Like, I think we've seen that at this point. I mean, the Kings pretty much, are the team that they were last year, and a lot of that is because it's a lot of the same players that it was last year. Of course, the offense has definitely taken a dip, but even then, it's more so the fact that, what's that stat that was out there? The top 7 offenses of this year are better than the Kings offense last year. So, it's all kind of relative. I think it's good that their record is still the same, even though this points out that record doesn't hold the same weight this year. I think they're in a fine spot, and there's so many, that 8 seed in the West could have very easily been a 5th seed with one game or one or 2 games going their way. So, it might not look as good as it has last season, but I think overall, I mean, the Kings still have a shot to do what they did last season, if not even improve. Like, I think that there's still like this almost paints it as the Kings are worse this year. Why would we expect better results? And I just don't think that that's necessarily true if that's what that's pointing at.
Yeah, and because of the Kings and the drought and everything they were working against, it's hard for me to say that last season was a missed opportunity when you say, oh, maybe it was a bit of a down season and the Kings could have taken advantage. I mean, they did take advantage. They got the 3rd seed and they had a good run, right? They made some noise, relatively speaking. So I just think it is what it is. It's kind of impossible to expect a team like the Kings to come in and just win a championship out of nowhere. It just doesn't happen.
Right.
It just doesn't happen. So yeah, looking back at what they did last season compared to this season really isn't that different of a team. The offensive rating was better, but I think, what did they say? 7 offensive this season, 7 offenses this season have the same.
It's probably 5 or 6 nowadays. But have
a better offensive rating than what the Kings had last season, and that was historically the best in the history of the NBA. Right. So, that just puts things into perspective. You decide not to make a move because what is the move that you really think that you can make?
Right.
And this is what you get.
Right.
Maybe you'll be a 6th seed or 5th seed, something like that.
The Kings took off too at the other side of the All-Star break as well. So I think, those numbers that were even pre-All-Star, I mean, they ended up being a whole lot better than that even. So maybe the gap is bigger and we'll see. I mean, to me, of course, the most important games are about to be the ones that they're about to play on the other side of this break. I think the defensive number is the one that, even though that you could argue 2 is a number that could have easily slid. It's 17 right now, or it's 18 right now. That probably easily could have been 20 or 22 even, with, a couple more points added here or there. But I think the improvement on defense is the one that tells me that this team could be better than they were last year, despite all of the worsening of standings, because to me, that's the part where the Kings really severely lacked last year. I think if they played just a little bit of defense in that playoff series, which they played better defense than they were playing in the regular season, but if they can make a similar jump as they did last year heading into the postseason, I think that they can surprise some people. I really do, because I think their offense is, for the most part, legit. I think it's going to be better than it was last year in the playoffs. But man, if they can just improve defensively, again, that's why I feel like that Denver game needs to be the standard. They can just play a little bit of defense. I swear, I think that they can surprise a team or two in the playoffs.
Make some noise.
Exactly.
Look,
that's what Monty wants.
I think that you couldn't end this part of the season before the All-Star break any better. It would have been a rough go if they had lost to the Nuggets. Well, I'm just saying this last game specifically. Yeah. If they lost that last game,
it would have been
a long break. Yeah. It would have been a long break because they still have the Nuggets again.
Yes, February 28th.
Yeah, then are they done with the Nuggets after that?
They are done with the Nuggets, thankfully, after that. But they could sweep the season series against Denver, which is insane.
Yeah.
It's insane to even think about.
Right. And there's been a couple, they've been off back-to-backs. Then the Kings were off back-to-backs. We've seen it both a couple different ways. When the Kings get back on Thursday, they will see Wemby, Mr. AI himself, and Adam Silver. Yeah. That will be on Thursday. And the game that I'm really looking at, Chris, is, and they get a nice break. They play Thursday, then they don't play again until Sunday. I really want to see what they do against the Clippers.
Yeah.
That is the one team.
They have not showed up really against
them.
Yeah.
They've the two teams they haven't either beat before or avenged anything would be the Pelicans and the Clippers.
Rockets too.
And the Rockets. But I'm talking the Rockets.
Where are the Rockets even standing nowadays? I have no idea, because we haven't had to pay attention to them since early in the season. They're a game behind Utah right now. So,
okay. So yes, if the Rockets get hot, then we might have a problem.
Yeah.
But I'm really interested to see what happens against the Clippers, and we know how they don't match up. The Kawhi thing, he didn't play against the Warriors. He gets a nice break before they have to go up against the Kings Sunday the 25th. Not to look over the Spurs, but that is going to be the first test for the Kings. And then 3 days later, that's actually a back-to-back. So the Kings have the Clippers in LA, and then they come home the next day to take on the Heat. And that's some revenge right there. The Heat
definitely
kind of took care of them in Miami when the Heat were on their 7-game skid or whatever it is.
The Clippers game too is going to be around that anniversary of the really high scoring Clippers game.
That's
I was
right.
Down there in La La Land.
I believe that was also the second game outside of the All-Star break. I'm curious what the actual date is on that because
I know it was end of February, so it's like right there.
Yeah, and then after that, that's a back-to-back. After that, they have the Nuggets again, the 28th, and after that, they go to Denver, and then they go to Minnesota. So that is a throw you in the pool after the All-Star break stretch to kind of say, hey, we're not going to let you warm things up. You better have your floaties on or you better learn how to swim. All right, got to get to a break. When we
February
get back,
24th, by the way, was the day
The
of
one
that
day
Clippers
off.
game.
Ooh, but we had a leap year.
We did have a leap year.
Well, actually, never mind. No, this year's a leap year, so we'd be
Oh,
adding
yes,
the
I'm
day.
sorry. It's February
But,
28th.
Yep, I'm right there with you.
there you
big
go.
dog.
Maybe it'll be part 2. Got to get to a break. When we get back, more Kings talk. And Sabonis, good enough for the MVP ladder, but not good enough for the All-Star game. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Subscribe to Sactown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sactown Sports.
What's up? Talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's going on for Chrysler's President's Day sale?
Huge savings on our remaining 2023 Rams as we make room for the hundreds of 2024s arriving daily. This month, you can save up to $15,000 off MSRP on new 2023 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4s. And you won't find a better selection of new Ram trucks in Northern California with over 500 Rams available.
Well, that sounds like a good deal, but why drive all the way to Hoblet, Chad?
For 4 generations, we prided ourselves on being the small town dealer with big city selection and savings. When you buy from Hoblet, you're family, which is why so many of our customers come back and buy from us time after time.
Come to Hoblet and see what it's like to be treated like family at California's #1 Ram truck dealer. See their full selection at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
15,000 total net savings after 74.88 factory rebates and 75.12 dealer discount. Rebates may include 1,000 case construction bonus cash. Must have purchased eligible with new case equipment to qualify and 500 first responder bonus cash. Must be carrying a member of eligible first responder association. 5 with this net savings. Symbol VIN 7000008.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
I don't know if Kings fans even want to hear this at this point because it clearly doesn't seem to matter, but it's just funny, to be completely honest with you, as we look at the MVP ladder, and Sabonis has actually gone up. He is tied for 6th with Kawhi Leonard, who Kawhi Leonard didn't move, but he's tied for 6th.
How was one
with
tied?
Kawhi Leonard in the MVP ladder last week? He was number 7. So there is no number 7. But I guess they're not allowed to drop Kawhi down, even though he hasn't even been playing.
I'm just trying to figure out how one could be tied in the unless there is some metric that they're using specifically for MVP valuation.
Maybe.
I don't understand how one would be tied. You got to pick one. You got to pick one. I don't care who it is. I mean, you could gladly have Kawhi Leonard over Sabonis. It's just I can't do ties. Especially
like ties,
not something like MVP. I remember when Russ and James were fighting for the MVPs with their triple-double seasons, and people were like, why can't? What if they split votes? Why can't we just vote for both?
Co-MVP.
It's just come on. No, just pick one. You got to pick one.
It's not that hard.
It's really not. I think
especially for a ladder.
You know
That's
what I'm saying.
Now that you mention it, this actually kind of ticks me off because if it was the other way around. And it was because, as we've said, Kawhi was 6th last week. And why this annoys me, I don't know. But Kawhi was 6th last week, okay? Domantas Sabonis was 7 last week. So that tells me that Kawhi did not move.
Yep.
And if you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards. Yes. So Sabonis did well enough to get bumped up to 6th, but they just can't find it in their heart to bump Kawhi down. And if it was the other way around, you know Sabonis would never be caught in a tie.
Fall down to 10. They'd say,
exactly.
Oh, he was at 6, but we were going to move him anyway, so we might as well just take him out, Got to keep it fresh, right? Got to look different than last week. Come on.
That's ridiculous.
Just pick one. Just pick one and live with it. That's what I'm saying. And they're not even in the top. Like, they have top 5 and they have details on all the top 5. And then it's literally the next 5 with no words for them or anything, just listing their names. If they're not even getting the paragraph treatment, just pick one. Just freaking pick one.
Do you think that, and it's basically, it's a bit of a chicken or the egg question. But when it comes to free agents and we say, it's hard for Sacramento to get free agents. When I say chicken or the egg, do you think free agents see stuff like this and they say, hey, I have no problem with Sacramento as a city. I've heard great things. It's a smaller market. I have no problem with that. But the way that the players get treated, I just don't want to subject myself to that.
Well, that's where bigger markets, that's literally the big market versus small market. It's not specifically Sacramento. That's just, you go to LA, no one would know who Rui Hachimura is, but since he plays for the Lakers, there's an elevated persona that is Rui Hachimura, and it elevates his value because his name is talked about so much. But if Sabonis was in, if he were a Clipper even, he would probably be top 5 in the MVP.
But I think it does go a little bit, and we talked a little bit about this yesterday with Sacramento being a bit lost in the shuffle between being a big market and being a small market, because I think it does go deeper than, there's LA and everybody else, because how come
there's LA, New York, Chicago, Miami? There's a couple of those.
There's a couple.
Golden State is definitely one of those.
There's a couple.
Boston.
But I'm still trying to figure out how Donovan Mitchell and Cleveland was able to power through. Oklahoma City, how they were able to power through. Minnesota, how they were able to power through. It feels like to me, you need one of the two, and the Kings have neither. You either need to be in a big market, or you need to be a bigger personality and I don't even think Shai Gilgeous has a big personality. He just, I don't know what it is about Shai.
It's just, you got to be in the playoffs. You have to be in the playoffs year after year. That's when everybody sees you. That's when the nation sees you, is in the playoffs. That's when they focus on your team specifically. And, Shai's got playoff runs. He was with the Clippers. He played in a playoff series when Chris Paul was there. So he has the notoriety. Anthony Edwards was the first pick in the draft. So that's enough there. And Donovan Mitchell, Utah, he was in the playoffs year after year after year. They were the 1 seed a couple seasons. It's about, honestly, that's where Fox and Sabonis are going to take their next big leap. And you already saw, one post 7 games pretty much changed De'Aaron's entire reality around how he's talked about. He got a shoe deal now. He signed with Rich Paul or in the middle of last season. That stuff is all real. I think it's just, we're just kind of in the beginning stage of it. Even the Clippers obviously have been in the playoffs for years. So I think that's more what it is with Sacramento versus those other markets. Minnesota has been a market that's been starved for playoffs almost as much as the Kings have. But even then, again, they have Rudy Gobert, they have Karl Anthony Towns, they have Anthony Edwards. Those are at least big names that, we knew before heading into Minnesota.
Right. It's hard to make, you're not trying to make your name in Minnesota. Right. And I guess to your point, Shai, he made his name in Oklahoma City, but he wasn't starting from scratch in Oklahoma City. And he was aided by being with Chris Paul, who of course is one of the biggest stars in the game.
Exactly. Yeah. So, that's what it is. It's not fair at all. There's literally nothing that Sabonis can do about it, but it's definitely the reality of the situation. And to go back to your initial question of, do free agents think about that stuff? I think it factors in. I think it kind of depends on who specifically the individual is and what they're hoping to get out of their situation, but it plays a factor for sure. If your two options are I'm either going to play in Sacramento or I'm going to play in Golden State. The reality is probably 7 or 8 out of 10 of those guys are going to pick Golden State just because the market's big. We talked about it with Pascal Siakam, right? Where it's, why would you, like the Kings and the Warriors seem like the sinking ship. The Kings are rising up. Why would Pascal be so willing to play with the Warriors and not the Kings? It's because if Pascal saves that Warriors situation, he's going to be the biggest star or the biggest rising star in the NBA. If he doesn't in Sacramento, you see how people talk about Domantas Sabonis. They're going to figure out reasons to say, I don't have to pay attention to this.
Yeah, got to get to a break. When we get back, we have the Ringer NBA Top 100 updated. Also a little later, sorry, Simone, but there is more sound that keeps coming out from the Super Bowl. George Kittle. We asked the question, is this a bad look or not? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Kevin Herter plays here.
It's Herter. He's been hot. He fires. He's still hot. Kevin Herter from downtown has a 15-point first quarter.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
At the UPS Store, we know this upcoming holiday is when things can get busy for small business owners.
Exactly. My to-do list and I don't take days off.
That's why you can count on us to be open and ready to help with every small business need, whether it's packing and shipping or if it's just to check your mailbox.
That's almost everything on my to-do list. My list and I can take the day off.
Your local, the everything to help you be unstoppable store. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable. The UPS Store locations are independently owned. Product services, pricing, and hours may vary. See Center for details.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not.
Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda. Your one-stop Honda shop.
Hagen Oaks is introducing the newly designed Callaway Chrome Tour line of golf balls, offering outstanding tour performance. From cover to core, Chrome Tour is the new gold standard tour ball for players who want the best in distance and feel. Chrome Tour is engineered for outstanding performance with exceptional speed, consistent flight, incredible spin, and greenside control. Ask about the full line of Callaway Chrome Tour golf balls at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at HagenOaks.com.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jake Owen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light, Garner Roofing, and Roseville Kitchen and Bath.
Hey, it's Doug Christie here for Folsom Lake Ford. During the President's Day Sell-a-thon, get 0 down deals on approval of credit, huge discounts, and top dollar for all trades. Shop your truck headquarters at FolsomLakeFord.com.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
We got prop talk coming, but we some of these people I need help, right? Maybe Simone will help us with some of these people. Kai Cenat is set at 5.5 points for the Celebrity All-Star Game.
I'm going to embarrass myself. I'm going to be like, who?
Do you know who Kai Cenat is?
No.
He's just he's the biggest streamer right now.
I'm
biggest
old.
streamer.
Oh my gosh. I'm old.
Dang.
Micah Parsons set at 13.5. Meta World Peace at 13.5. Walker Hayes, is that country singer?
Sounds like it.
Sure.
Walker Hayes. Jewel Lloyd.
Hey.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Walker Hayes is it says singer-songwriter.
There you go. Jack Ryan at 11.5.
Jack Ryan.
Yeah.
Isn't that a book or something? Isn't that like what? Isn't that
Tom
like
Clancy
book? Jack.
No, Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan.
Yeah. Was she? No.
But I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan. I thought John Krasinski played.
So
Jack
is it
Ryan.
John Krasinski or Jack Ryan?
I can't
Like
answer
James
it.
Bond, I think. Can't
Ryan's
anyone be a Jack Ryan?
Yeah, Jack Ryan's kind of about as standard of a name as it gets, you know.
So yeah, we will give our thoughts on that a little bit later in the show. Pretty hilarious. And also they do have 3-point and dunk. So you have Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Brunson, Malik Beasley, Trae Young, Karl Anthony Towns, Lauri Markkanen, Tyrese Halliburton. Oh my goodness. I'm just thinking about Tyrese showing out tonight.
He's going to be insufferable. It's not going to be fun. It's his town for sure. Like, it's in Indy. They're putting him front and center for all of the events. It's going to be his weekend for sure. And yeah, Kings fans better be ready to deal with. We'll do our own prop of over under times the Tyrese Halliburton trade gets brought up over the weekend.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah.
It's gotta be like
a lot.
I would
Luckily the Kings aren't there because
Right.
it would probably
If
be
Sabonis
worse.
were there specifically too.
And by the way, yes, of course, I knew that name sounded familiar. Walker Hayes will be at Country in the Park. So
Nice
I'm definitely
cross-promotion. Thank you.
I'm definitely taking the over. I'm definitely taking the over now.
Yeah, sure. What was his over at? Do you remember? Not that it really doesn't
No,
matter.
it does,
you know,
though.
you really don't have
No,
to.
no, now I'm here. Now I'm here. Walker Hayes set at he must be a baller. They said it. Is he tall? He said it at 8 points.
Whoa.
8 points?
8 points for
Yeah,
Walker Hayes.
I don't know about that. That's yeah. I mean, maybe and that's the thing that we're gonna do this segment early, but that's why I love the celebrity game.
Yes.
It's just you get to learn. Like, I swear there was I think in the Obama administration there was a Secretary of Defense
Cooking
that always played, and he would like get like 50. He was like Kevin Love out there. He'd get like 15, 15, and 6, and I'm like, who is this dude? The drummer for Arcade Fire is apparently ridiculous. Justin Bieber won MVP one year. Like,
Justin was cooking.
These are things that I need to know when I'm watching movies. It's like, oh, I know that guy. He was in the Celebrity Game. He's got a nice behind the back drip. I'm fascinated by celebrities and playing basketball, especially now that apparently our boy Lethal Shooter is training everybody nowadays, not just basketball players.
By the way, I do love seeing celebrities because I would do that. Or when I really do make it in this world, I'm going to have a trainer and I'm going to post videos of me just working out for no reason.
Yep.
Right? I need to get my shot
doing
right.
cone drills and stuff.
I love seeing that. Jason Sudeikis, just random dudes. I just got to get my work in.
Yeah, Gus from Breaking Bad. He's working with Lethal Shooter right now.
And I have money, so I'm just gonna get a trainer.
You don't want the Tom Segura thing to happen, though.
What
You
happened?
You guys never saw that?
No.
Where he just absolutely blew himself out. He was like a baller too. Got the Adam Sandler thing going on, blew himself out, had to have severe surgery.
See,
like he
I will
tore
show you
his
guys in the break.
ACL or
Yes,
something?
something.
Oh,
I'm not
I
sure
mean-
if it was a hammy, what he had reconstructive surgery, was out for a
no,
while.
I'm not trying to do all that.
I'm going to show you guys the video in the break.
Walker Hayes, 44 years old, has 7 children and an outstanding jawline. I'm hammering the over. I am hammering the over. 8 points from Mobile, Alabama. I'm definitely taking the over.
Yeah.
Walker Hayes he's gonna bring.
No word on his height though.
I'm trying to find
Okay.
it, but I can tell by that jawline he's probably above 6.
Okay, you guys, time out. Tom Segura breaks his arm and ruptures his knee in failed dunk attempt.
See,
I'm
he's
sorry
trying to
laugh.
dunk.
Oh, by the way, I'm seeing here Walker Hayes is 6'3".
Oh yeah, he's got 10. He's got 10 in the bag.
That's crazy.
You better hammer it before the line
especially
moves.
in a celebrity game where we know,
That's easy money.
He's going.
Hey, fire off the ladies for me though.
Yes,
Like
please.
who are the ladies?
By the way, Kai Cenat's like 5'3". So.
Before he was playing
Yeah.
little kids just a couple days ago, you have
We know Jennifer Hudson. We saw her.
Jennifer
over on
And that
Hudson,
was
Jewel Lloyd,
3.5?
1.5.
That's
Yeah.
like my
Natasha Cloud.
Okay.
You
Oh yeah,
have
WNBA.
yes, Lily Singh, and
Okay.
those are the only ones they have.
Okay, Jewel Lloyd. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
WNBA as well. That's interesting.
Those are safe,
Yeah.
right? Because they shoot because they're like, all right, I got no choice here. Then they're just buckets. So
Mhm.
I think I got my lineup going. We'll work on it. A little
Alan's
bit.
figuring out his parlay. Right?
That's right. That's
Celebrity
right. My
game
celebrity
parlay.
game parlay. Hey man, there's no Kings basketball. You got to figure out a way to
Get in where
kind
you
of
can
do
fit in.
something. As we talk some numbers here and some numbers that aren't moving in the right direction for the Kings. And there's just so many of these lists. So you have Sabonis moving up on the MVP ladder, but then on the top 100 from the Ringer, he's going down. He goes from 22 to 23. You have De'Aaron Fox, who is at 15, which is pretty darn high, man.
Yeah.
Pretty darn high. And he drops to 18. Do you care at this point in the season? Do you care about these lists?
No, but at the same time, like they're just kind of telling on themselves. I assume this Ringer ranking is based off of like multiple people's rankings. I would assume like multiple writers' rankings, and they compile it together because, you know, it's just telling that the fact that Domantas Sabonis has played incredible basketball, especially as of late, and him moving down in the list tells you honestly that you don't need to pay attention to a list like this because that's insane. I don't know how anybody could have watched Domantas Sabonis. Like if this list came out, you know, game 35 or something,
right?
I could understand. Sabonis wasn't lighting, but this man has had what, 38 straight double doubles or whatever. He's got working on, I think, 3 straight triple doubles, leading the league in both those categories, leading the league in assists, or I'm sorry, in rebounding, 20, 10, and 5 for the season. I don't understand how you could possibly say, I don't care if you feel like we'll use Kawhi. I don't care if you feel like Kawhi Leonard is just going crazy and just has to be moved. You've got to figure out how to get a guy who's playing like Domantas Sabonis higher. Frankly, I think he should be higher than De'Aaron. Like that to me,
I do too.
It tells that, you know, that's the national narrative around it because the Ringer is a really big, especially for basketball. It's a huge website, and for them to have 2 Kings falling down their list and Sabonis at 23. Let me see who are some guys that Sabonis is behind, because that's where the real frustration stems from too, is anybody could hear the number 23 and be upset. But then how about if I told you he's 1 below Bam Adebayo? He's below Paul George, Damian Lillard, Jamal Murray.
Damian Lillard.
Damian
can we talk
Lillard's
about
at
that?
20 right now. He's gone from 14 to 16, and now he's at 20. But they still have Damian Lillard at current Damian Lillard ahead of Domantas Sabonis. I'm sorry, that's crazy.
It's just
with how he's played this season. That's crazy.
And hopefully it's just motivation.
Exactly. I mean, that's really from a King side, like especially with them just being disrespected in this list. It's all you can take it as is, hey guys, clearly people aren't noticing what we're doing. And so what does that tell us? I mean, you can continue to keep your head down and do what you do, but it also can say, let's take this thing to another level. They're not paying attention to what we're doing now. let's give them something to pay attention about. So yeah, absolutely. Use this as motivation. I highly doubt either De'Aaron or Domas even become remotely aware of this list, but
you don't think?
I don't think so.
I mean, maybe not this ringer situation, but
even like the MVP ladder, I don't think so. No.
Okay.
I think if you're not, if you ain't first, you're last. Like it's that kind of thing. So I'm sure somebody in the organization hears it, or one of the coaching staff hears it, and maybe they put it in their ear. But it's, if anything, you can just say like these guys overall are just disrespected or not being paid attention to.
I saw this on the text line a couple days ago, and somebody said it doesn't matter. Domas will be the first player to get MVP votes that wasn't an all-star. Off the top of my head, I don't know. It's hard to say that it's never happened before, but I'm sure it doesn't happen often.
Also, like that's crazy. I mean,
for it to be a Sacramento King is actually very fitting.
Very fitting, incredibly fitting.
Yeah,
I mean, that really speaks to why it just doesn't make sense that he's not an all-star. I mean, that's almost a whole separate conversation, and you could argue that plays more into the popularity and why lists like this might be a bit important. But yeah, I mean, it is very fitting that a Sacramento King would be the first player to not make an all-star, but get MVP votes. It's nuts. And I think, and I wonder, what do you think it truly is about Sabonis or his game? Because I would assume it's his game and not his personality that people don't like. But what do you think it is, if you had to pick one thing that stands out the most for why you think he's just not getting attention? Is it the style of play that he plays, or is it just no one pays attention to Sacramento?
I think it's a microcosm of Sacramento. I think you have Jokic, who is the gold standard, and he is where you're trying to get to. You have Şengün, who is seen as on the way up.
He's the young guy.
He's the young guy, and you just have Sabonis, who just lives in this limbo.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest limbo I've ever seen.
So weird.
He's really the only player you can make the argument almost across all sports that can produce the way he's producing, and it's just, you just don't pay attention to
Brock
it, right?
Purdy.
I mean,
is Domantas Sabonis the Brock Purdy of the NBA?
No, because people talk about Brock Purdy. Nobody talks about Sabonis.
That's right. At least
he can't even be Brock Purdy.
Point. That is a great point. That's so sad, but yeah, I mean, completely. And because that's so true, because Brock Purdy, at least we're having the conversation, and maybe through the conversation we can get to some form of common ground. It's like no one's even, it's just he's being pushed to the side. It's almost, the Şengün thing is perfect, because it's like, it's the prospect of, oh my gosh, he could be anything. Like, oh, you see all these tools and imagine what it looks like when he puts it together. He could almost look like Domantas Sabonis. And it's like, well, okay, then you actually, okay, well, would you want Domantas Sabonis? Well, no, because I know what he is, and I don't think he can get better. But the prospect of him, of the unknown that is Şengün, almost draws people way more than the reality of what Sabonis is.
If you asked the Houston Rocket fan base, hey, how would you feel if Şengün became the next Sabonis? It'd be like, oh man, that
fell short.
He fell short, man. But if they actually looked at Sabonis's numbers, they'd be thrilled.
Yeah.
Especially when we're reading off dudes like Killian Hayes and a bunch of guys who aren't even in the league anymore, like Book Knight and things like that. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, switching over to some Niners talk, more sound from the Super Bowl. That's just not great for the Niners. Or maybe it just doesn't matter. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Welcome to the President's Day sale, happening now at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Celebrate with us and get huge savings on our giant selection. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com. based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company. Sold on report.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions.
Jackson Hewitt!
Jackson Hewitt is so sure they'll get you your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson Hewitt!
Switch to Jackson Hewitt and we'll beat what you paid last year, even if you filed online. Ain't nothing to it. Switch to Jackson Hewitt and pay less for tax prep, guaranteed. Proof of prior year payment required when filing. New clients only at participating locations through April 7th. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
God, I'm so stressed. It's a brand new year and our business is busier than ever.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
Are you ready for the deal of a lifetime? This week only during the President's Week sale, get ready to rev up your savings at Elk Grove Kia and elkgrovekia.com. The doors swing wide open every day at 9 a.m., and we're unleashing the biggest selection of pre-owned and brand new vehicles you've ever seen. With so many options to choose from, you're sure to find the car of your dreams. But hold on to your seats, because here's the best part. Our prices are slashed to the bone, and they're so incredible that we can't broadcast them. You have to come down and see for yourself. Don't wait. This is a 1 week only event. And to make it even better, you can drive away with your dream car right on the spot. No waiting, no hassle. Just instant delivery right on site. Remember, the President's Week sale happens this week only at Elk Grove Kia and elkgrovekia.com. Doors open at 9 a.m. sharp. Elk Grove Kia, where the biggest savings and the hottest wheels await during the President's Week sale, only at
Elk Grove Kia.
Hello, I'm Frank Ogg with Retirement Security Centers with the weekly economic update. Are consumers finally tightening their wallets? Retail sales fell 0.2% from 1 year ago due to a pivot to online purchases, highlighted by the 7% drop in department store sales. January retail sales fell 0.8% for the month. While durable goods at stores decreased, there were increases in online and restaurant spending. With jobless claims falling is a sign of a still robust jobs market. Claims older than a week rose to 1.895 million, showing that some may not be getting rehired right away, with a rush of layoffs in technology and media being the drivers of this number. This could help the Federal Reserve see their inflation fight sticking its soft landing. Another potential soft landing on the moon could come as soon as February 22nd. The 1M1 is attempting to be the first private company landing on the surface of the moon. Others have attempted as much in recent months, but as these are private endeavors at this time, they aren't sharing their data, which could lead to the success of other flights in the future. How might this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment, watch videos, and receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Frank Cockrell is a registered representative of Lincoln Financial Advisors Corporation, a broker-dealer member SIPC and registered investment advisor. Retirement Security Centers is not an affiliate of Lincoln Financial Advisors.
When the unexpected happens, trust AutoAccident.com. Loyalty and compassion set them apart. They're with you every step of the way. AutoAccident.com. That's AutoAccident.com.
Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
We are hour and 15 minutes away from our Daniel Tosh ticket giveaway. Live Nation has teamed up with Sactown Sports for your chance to see Daniel Tosh at Hard Rock Live April 12th. All you have to do is hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline at 1 p.m. Simone will pick a caller, score those tickets, pair of tickets to see Daniel Tosh. For more information, visit SactownSports.com. All guests and callers join us on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop, going to open up phone lines 916-339-1140 after we play this little tidbit from the Super Bowl. So basically, this is when McCaffrey fumbled and George Kittle is blocking. And George Kittle, right, loves WWE, loves wrestling. He's just a funny guy, right? And there is a big debate going on as to whether George Kittle was doing his job correctly, whether it's just a bad look. And we will describe it. Basically, McCaffrey fumbles. George Kittle is blocking George Karlaftis, and the whole time he's blocking him, and then he's making sure that's his job, right? And he says, "Hi, George." Meanwhile, it just looks terrible because
really bad luck.
Because who he was blocking ends up getting the fumble, whether that's his fault or not. And here's a little clip.
George Karlaftis dove on the ball as Christian McCaffrey fumbled the ball.
Hey, George. George Kittle had a chance to get it, but didn't know it was on the carpet.
Hey, George.
Hey, George. What you doing, George? What you got plans for after the game?
And it's getting memed like crazy. Like it. Hiya, Georgie. They have George Kittle's face coming out of the sewer.
That's crazy.
It's so terrible. I didn't have to listen to it. I refused to listen to it until
Hey,
you
George.
guys made me on this show.
And
I was rejecting it.
And George Karlaftis is just paying attention. Well, he's facing the ball anyway.
Yeah.
And, Kittle, hey, George, and George gets the ball.
Yeah.
So I think it's a bad look.
It's definitely a bad
There
look.
are Niners fans defending it, saying he was never going to face the ball anyway. He's doing his job. It just looks bad. Even if you're right, it just looks bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's just It to me, this is just it's like the opposite of, remember the in the Lions game, he had the dude when we win this game, I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna lie, they had us in the first half. Like that's all he was looking forward to, seemingly in that game. This is when keeping it real goes wrong. It's like he thought this was going to be a funny. He wasn't thinking this was going to be on NFL.
I mean, he knew he was mic'd up
for sure, but he was. I don't think in that moment he was thinking like, "Hey, now is time for a good quip."
But that's what people are saying.
That fumble.
Exactly. Yeah.
But that's
it's really unfortunate.
Fumble, it's disgusting.
But that's what people are saying.
It's super.
George Kittle was
more concerned about
going viral,
right,
than paying attention.
No, that's the bad look of it. It's the intention. If we want to, put on our serious hat and like way overanalyze it, like he didn't block for 100% of that play, which is also where the issue is. Exactly. It's like
because the whistle never blew.
Because you could stay engaged. It's one thing to
and say hi, George.
Not everybody has to, literally, finish the block and put him on the ground, but like it's the fact that he disengages from the block and then says hi, George. Hi, George.
One more time.
Hi, George.
Hey, George.
Hey, George. Hey, George.
George Kittle had a chance to get it right after.
It was really bad. And I think even the Chiefs, like some fan account said, our George was more curious. And it was just, it's just a really bad look. Like, again, the football view of it, ideally, you got to finish your block, stay engaged. It's a Super Bowl, biggest game of your life. And, you're going to give 95% effort, not 100. I get that. But also just in general, like, maybe save the pleasantries for after the game.
Hi, George.
It's not great. It's just a really bad look.
Hey, George.
Hey, George.
Simone, play the whole thing, please. Because, if you're just listening, this is the McCaffrey fumble. And he's blocking, and then I think he thought the play was over.
He definitely thought it was over.
And he was...
Hey, George. George Kittle had a chance to get it, but didn't know it was on the carpet.
That is what is the worst part.
Yeah. He could have gotten it.
And that, you cannot...
In theory, he could have gotten it.
Yeah. So I don't know, and I know Niner fans are really on the copium right now, but that's just a lot. Just say it was a bad look. You already lost. How do you defend that?
I mean, there's none. I mean, it's just the ultimate. It's the cherry on top of just what it just hurts, man. I get it. Like I've seen tons of Niner fans say, if I have to hear, if anyone else posts another mic'd up, I'm gonna lose it. I feel it. I understand it, but it's a bit. All of it is just a bit telling of how really, I don't want to say prepared. I don't think that's the right word, but like you hear all of the Chiefs mic'd up and maybe it's the victors get to tell the story, but it seems like the Chiefs were completely locked into the moment. They knew the overtime rules seems like everything in that game worked in the Chiefs' favor. And then everything that has came out since is apparently Steve Wilkes and Shanahan were ready to fight on the sideline. And there's all of these, mic'd ups. And then you have the overtime rules and all that stuff on top of it. It just feels like it just keeps getting worse and worse for the Niners somehow. Hey, George.
Yeah. Hey, George.
Hey, George. How's it going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just hanging out.
Just two bros. Just two Georges,
Just two Georges.
Just Georging it up.
But that's who he is.
It is. Yeah. Absolutely.
That's who. And I saw somebody say, that Niner fans, they pick and choose who to be upset at. And, if this was somebody else that isn't one of their.
Oh, yeah.
On the team,
yeah.
right? If this was somebody that did this that Niner fans don't like the same way that they love George Kittle, they'd be frying them.
I keep bringing him up, and it's really funny because he hasn't played a snap for them this season. Yeah. But if that's Cam Latu, he's getting dragged.
He's or Colton McKivitz, right?
Gone.
He's getting destroyed.
Yeah, they're following Steve Wilkes out the door.
Yeah, he's getting destroyed. But because you like George Kittle, you're finding a way to defend it and just own up to that, right? You have the best odds to win the Super Bowl next season, So you just got to own up to it. Let's get to our guy TC, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, TC? Stiles Watkins. Happy Friday, man. What you got?
Happy Friday to both of y'all, man. What's going on, Stiles Watt?
Not too much. You talking about this George Kittle? What you think?
Yeah, I mean, look, check it out. George is gonna be George, man. I'm not even really mad at George. Everybody's trying to pick and choose and then overlook the main problem. The main problem is Kyle Shanahan, bro. I'm over that dude, bro. And everybody making up excuses. A lot of this fan base is starting to realize that dude's the issue. And then they want to bring up when you say, well, let's fire him. You want to go back to Chip Kelly and Jim Tomsula? Well, there's context to that. Jim Tomsula, bro, when he took over the team, the whole team retired on him. Chip Kelly, bro, he brought some Oregon. He had people on the sideline. You couldn't listen to music during the practice and all that, bro. So look, hey, I can go on and on and on, bro. But the problem is Kyle, bro. Seriously.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, TC. I wouldn't move on from Kyle Shanahan, but I do think it's funny that people just assume that you can't get better, that if you move on from Kyle Shanahan, you could only get worse. And I've seen takes that feel like, hey, are we sure that Kyle is really maximizing this roster? I wouldn't move on from Kyle. And he essentially helped to build the roster. But this assumption that you're going to go back into the dark ages if you move on from Kyle with this roster, I think it's a little bit overblown.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the Niners are a legacy organization. They've had very, very recent success. I mean, probably when they actually get rid of Kyle, they won't be as talented as they were as they are now. But let's just play in a universe where Kyle Shanahan is let go today. Like Mike Vrabel's going to go for that job. Bill Belichick would probably go for that job. Yeah. Like it's a very, very attractive destination. The odds of you not getting the pick of the litter are slim to none. Like I think the Niners might be one of, if not the best job in football to sign up for, especially when you factor in the fact that, you have an owner like Jed York, who this season was willing to cash people out. I mean, he cashed out Bosa, or didn't he pay a couple other players in advance to get that Bosa signing and then to extend Lynch and Shanahan when he really didn't need to? That sounds like everything any coach would want to do, or would want to sign up for. So I completely feel like if Kyle were to go, I think the Niners at the very least, now whether it works out or not, that's a different question, but you would get a more than qualified head coach in there to replace him.
Yeah, got to get to a break. When we get back, a little bit of baseball talk. Rob Manfred announces when he will retire. He also says something. I honestly couldn't believe he said it, but then I remembered it was Rob Manfred. And I did believe it. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
Going deep down the sideline for Ayuk. He's got it, and he's gone. 10, 5, touchdown! San Francisco! Ayuk is on fire!
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
Getting your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like discovering a refund tree has grown in your backyard.
I'm the refund tree.
Sawing off its branches.
Hey.
feeding them through a wood chipper,
My branches! My beautiful branches!
and dancing in its refund rain. Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
Hey, California. Sellathon means big savings. Sellathon means great selection. Sellathon means 5 days to save. So visit your California Ford dealer now through President's Day and get great offers on the most popular Ford trucks and SUVs. Like the built Ford Tough F-150, part of Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 47 years and counting. Or the adventure-ready Ford Bronco Sport with GOAT modes to help you conquer the great outdoors. And the always electrifying Ford Mustang Mach-E with 0 to 60 thrills and 0 emissions. It's the Ford President's Day Sellathon. And that means now is the best time to get behind the wheel of your brand new Ford truck or SUV and drive it home today. But hurry, these offers absolutely end February 19th. So go to your California Ford dealer today. Based on 1977 to 2023 calendar year total sales.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's BABBEL.com.
Get ready. This week, Staples has deals so good, you're going to want to sit down. Are you sitting? I'll wait. Great. Right now, during Staples Sit-a-thon, you can save up to $180 on select chairs. That's up to $180 off desk chairs, up to $180 off computer chairs, and up to $180 off gaming chairs. So hurry into Staples now for the Staples Sit-a-thon and grab a seat or two. Ends 3/2. In-store only. See associate for details.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khtk.com.
It's Carmichael Day with a Fire Wings announcement. The Floor and Road location now serves pizza, and oh my goodness, it's so good. Don't forget the Wings Day Wednesday lineup, 88-cent wings every Wednesday. You got 21 delicious flavors to choose from in the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Save time and order online. Go to firewings.com or download the app. Find a location near you, order online, and earn rewards. Fire Wings, just wing it.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with 0 down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com. 0
down with approved credit.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTK AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sactown Sports.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
If your argument is that George Kittle's job was to block Karlaftis, I get that. The problem is Karlaftis got the fumble. So he didn't do his job. Am I missing something?
Maybe. Because when the play is drawn up, as they've practiced it a million times, I'm assuming, the job is to block for a certain amount of seconds, and then after, the assumption is the player's down, the play is over, you've already done your responsibility of taking the guy out of the play. There's no way that they can impact the game. I guess it's just his head wasn't on a swivel, and, again, it's the Super Bowl, it's the biggest game. The assumption is you're going to play for 100% of the play and not 98% of the play.
You played to the whistle, yes or no?
Yes, but that doesn't mean that you assume that the fumble is right behind. I think you could say that George Kittle's assumption is every time that play is ran after the 4-second internal clock, typically he's 5 yards down the field, nowhere near your space. And so the assumption is every time you've ran that play, the play hasn't even been near you. And so that's why you could disengage.
All right. Copium.
I mean, it's
hopium.
Yeah, it's
instead of
it's
mopium.
just unfortunate. I mean, it's just unfortunate. It's really funny, but it's also unfortunate. I think both things can be true. That I don't think he messed up, but I think looking at it, you can't say he didn't mess up. It's a weird situation, which is why to me that's what makes it so funny. It's that it's definitely not supposed to happen that way ever. And it just so happens the one time it did happen that way, you caught George Kittle saying, "Hey, George." It could not have been a funnier moment.
Well, and to your point, maybe we can live in a world where it's a bad look, but it doesn't have to be overblown.
Yes. Yeah, sure.
But that's no fun.
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of depends on what you're hoping to get out of the situation, really.
Right. Yeah. I'm just people continue to talk about it.
I think I do think it's funny that it's 0% George Kittle's fault. It is you can't watch that clip and then not say George Kittle needs to take 5, 10, 15, whatever percent blame pie responsibility for it. He's not blameless in the situation for sure.
Yeah.
Because Karlaftis didn't give up. Karlaftis could have done the same thing where they just kind of, mess around and, grab each other's jerseys and are like, hey, George, how's it going?
Right.
He was ready. I think that's also the bad part is the juxtaposition of George Kittle is trying to have fun and have this moment of levity. And then Karlaftis is like, I'm not even going to say, hey, George, back. I'm watching the game, you freaking dingus.
Do you think that this could be something that, we talk about how, Jordan Poole and the punch and how the things that kind of probably get said to Jordan Poole on a daily basis, not very fun. And obviously George Kittle, what he's done in his career, a lot more than what Jordan Poole is a champion, by the way. But
one more than him.
Do you think that this could be something that follows George Kittle to where he just gets trolled? I mean,
no,
he doesn't have that much time left, and it's just everywhere he goes, it's hey George.
I don't think so. Maybe. I mean, maybe it didn't feel like it went that viral to me.
Okay, let's go in a different direction here. Because I'm trying to remember the situation, and we can reestablish everything. We can reestablish everything over during the break. But Niner fans who Cam Newton is public enemy number one because of the game manager, game changer thing. A lot of Niner fans have been roasting Cam Newton. And what does Cam Newton get roasted a lot for is not jumping on that fumble. Now, obviously he saw the ball, and I have been a Cam Newton fan from Auburn, right? So even before he was in the NFL, any weird connection to, actually there is no connection to the Niners, really. Cam has been a polarizing figure in the NFL. So that has been used, right? There are a lot of Cam haters out here. He didn't jump on the ball for whatever reason. Part of me thought, all right, I mean, like I said, we'll go through what the actual game breakdown is, but that has been something that people have kind of held in their back pocket.
Stuck with him, yeah.
George Kittle doesn't talk trash like Cam Newton talks trash, but could that be the same level? I know Cam saw the ball, but it's also Cam is the quarterback. If his arm gets stuck or something like that, then they're really cooked.
Sure. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think it's going to stick with him. It just feels like a funny moment, and then in 2 weeks we'll probably forget about it. Like, I don't think it's something that's going to stick around with him for his entire career, because like you said, I mean, Cam also had the context of leading into that game. Nobody was more showboaty in everybody's eyes than Cam, dabbing on people that season and all that stuff, talking like, he was going to take down. I think that they were playing the Broncos that year too. So there was the whole Peyton element of it too. Peyton has a whole cult following. I just don't think it hit. I don't think that this clip went viral enough. And, I don't think it's as direct of George Kittle's fault as that seemed to be Cam Newton's fault.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like the reason it won't is because there's so many other things the Niners can point
overtime,
to.
Yeah.
The overtime, right? Just so many other things. And even Brock Purdy's.
And the punt.
Yeah, the punt. Brock Purdy was asked what he'd like to do over again. And it was, I think he talked about it was the third quarter when they had, I think, three and outs in a row. And we talked about it when the Chiefs couldn't do anything.
Right.
He said that was when that was what he wishes he could have had back, when it was just one after the other, just not able to really do much. So yeah, I just, it came out yesterday and it kind of took off. And you had people immediately taking sides.
Yes.
And I see a Raider fan on the chat from the 209. Hey, Kittle is a baller and I'm a Raider fan. I'm not saying he's not, but he didn't ball in the Super Bowl. And the only highlight from the Super Bowl is him saying, "Hey, George." So that's just what it is.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't think that Kittle's legacy is going to be.
I don't think so
like
either
at all.
I don't think so either, but it is a meme.
Yeah, for sure.
It's definitely a meme as we get into a little bit of baseball talk. And Chris actually brought this to my attention, as much as he says he's not a baseball guy. The Los Angeles Dodgers, this is from Action Network.
This is nuts.
The Los Angeles Dodgers win total is set at 104.5. There's 162 games. 104.5.
Yeah.
It's the highest over-under for any Major League Baseball team since the 1999 New York Yankees. The Yankees won measly 98 games.
But 6 games under their over-under is kind of crazy. Or 7, I guess. That would be 7 under what was needed.
So they went under, winning 98 games. I'm on record saying that this is good for baseball because there's always a chance. You talk about choke artists.
Yeah.
There's always a chance that the Dodgers will choke in the playoffs.
Oh, there's a better than good chance. I mean,
and you need
history would tell you.
You need to hate watch someone.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. And
how about the fact that it's the 99 Yankees that were the last team to be projected at that level?
Right.
Like, could this iteration of the Dodgers be the new early 2000s Yankees?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me, that's when baseball was, kind of at its last peak is in those days where it felt like the Yankees were inevitable. They were the big bad. Everyone was out there trying to get them and chase them. I think that's kind of what baseball needs right now. I think, it needs I think it's going to definitely take away from some of the casuals. Some people will say, much like people were upset at LeBron and the Warriors being in the finals every year. But I think for the most part, you look back at those Warriors-Cavs finals, those are the most viewed finals in recent history. So I think overall, it might detract some of the super casuals, but for the most part, I think everyone wants to see greatness and everyone wants to see greatness attempting to be stumped. And, at the end of the day, that's what's going to sell. And I think it's going to help baseball in the long run.
Yeah, I think as a Giants fan, you laugh at the Dodgers losing early. But as a baseball fan, even if, especially when the Giants aren't doing anything, hopefully that's not the case this season, but you think, all right, you kind of need the Giants to do something here the Dodgers to do something here for baseball. And no disrespect to the Arizona Diamondbacks, but going to the World Series, just not really the best look.
Not a big needle mover.
No, and they got talent, but that's me talking a pretty hardcore baseball fan, not someone who just glancing by. Oh, let me just turn on the World Series. Oh, it's not even the Phillies.
Rangers, Diamondbacks.
Yeah, you can't even get the Phillies in here. 916-339-1140. Let's get to Steven, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Steven? What you got for us?
Oh, not much, man. How you guys doing, man?
Great. How you doing, Steven? What's up?
Pretty good, man. Just getting my lunch stuff get together. So I heard earlier today that you guys have not seen the Tom Segura video. And if you guys, I cannot recommend that video enough, my friends.
Yes.
Tom Segura, Bert Kreischer, and I think there was a couple of other comedians. They were all playing a pickup basketball game in a gym somewhere. And there is actual video of it, and I can't recommend it enough, especially if you like compound fractures, kind of like Kevin Ware back in the day, if you know what I'm saying. So he goes up for a layup, if I'm not mistaken. Tom does.
Mm-hmm.
Comes down way wrong. Comes down just completely off kilter because, he's not a small man.
Yes. Simone showed
completely
us.
wonky.
Yeah. Simone
lands on the arm, completely snaps the arm.
Yeah. No.
Everybody needs to watch it.
No, thank you, sir. Yeah, Simone showed it to us from afar, far enough, and we definitely saw it. All right, let's get to a break. When we get back, continuing the conversation, an ex-Niner is in a little bit of trouble in Las Vegas. We'll tell you who, and we'll tell you what happened. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sactown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for three, and Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. We've made it to Friday and heading into a holiday weekend for some of you. Expect cloudy skies today and limited sunshine. Temps will peak in the lower 60s. Next chance of rain arriving during the day Saturday. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Doug Christie here. It's Folsom Lake Kia's President's Day sales event. Save on new 2024 Kias with low payments, low finance rates, and zero down deals on approval of credit. Shop Folsom Lake Kia in the Folsom Auto Mall.
Whether you prefer thrills or serenity, the 2024 Accord from Elk Grove Honda delivers both. With Honda Sensing Standard, the 2024 Accord is once again a winner of the 2024 Car and Driver's 10 Best Cars, making Honda the winningest brand in car and driver award history. Drive a 2024 Accord Hybrid and see for yourself what the fuss is all about. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Jimmy Garoppolo is not having the best Friday. And whenever you hear about somebody not having a good Friday, it's always going to remind you of Friday, the original. How are you going to get fired on your day off?
Yeah. Come on, Craig.
And Jimmy Garoppolo, I guess technically isn't fired yet, but this is from Adam Schefter. Raiders QB Jimmy Garoppolo is being suspended 2 games for violating the NFL's performance-enhancing substances policy, league sources told ESPN. The policy violation is related to him using a prescribed medication without having a valid therapeutic use exemption. So he took something he wasn't supposed to take, or he didn't get the okay to take it. How that happens, I don't know. It's not like you were busy playing, so I don't know how you get that. I don't know how you don't get that paperwork squared away before you put something in your body. And then essentially towards the same time as that, or right after that, Raiders are expected to release Jimmy Garoppolo before the 5th day of the new league year in mid-March, when he's set to earn $11.25 million in a roster bonus. That is per Adam Schefter as well. And I don't really feel bad. I mean, Jimmy has made a lot of money for for his efforts.
He essentially got paid $30 million to hang out in Vegas for a year.
There's worse things,
Is he one of the luckiest people who has ever been born?
Very fortunate. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
like I mean,
he won. He won
we
the
factor
lottery.
in the genetic lottery.
Yes,
just the man
talent.
is 6'2".
Yeah,
okay, he's suave.
He's suave,
okay,
dude. Got the smile.
Gets drafted out of didn't he go to like South Illinois State
Northern
or something?
Illinois, something like that.
Ended up getting drafted by the Patriots, then gets essentially put on the scene because Tom Brady gets hurt. He doesn't have to play he didn't even play like an entire season of football for the Patriots, if I'm not mistaken. I think he was their third string quarterback and lucked in because they didn't like Jacoby Brissett. And then ends up getting shipped off to the Niners, who, again, as I stated, is probably one of, if not the best organizations. Gets, pretty quickly thrown a Messiah-like title in terms of like when Jimmy first came. I remember, Jimmy Gucci or Gucci Gurop or whatever people were calling him. The Niners fans were obsessed with Jimmy. He thought he was going to be the
Garoppolo.
Jimmy Garoppolo, all that stuff.
Jimmy Jesus was another
Jimmy
one.
Jesus, absolutely. And then, ends up going to a Super Bowl pretty much off the back of everybody else.
Yeah.
And then, has this season in Vegas where he really played how many games? He played 6 games for Vegas this year, 7 games technically for Vegas this year.
Sleep that I got
crazy.
After he was gone.
Yeah.
Just crazy.
Nothing like it. And I want you to know Eastern Illinois Panthers. That's where he hails
Eastern
from.
Illinois.
Of course.
Illinois.
Eastern
Excuse
Illinois.
me. Apologies to the Northerners.
And so now Jimmy Garoppolo. So now if anybody who wants to pick up Jimmy Garoppolo, now you have to pick him up knowing that he can't play the first 2 games. Because maybe he was going to go to,
right.
I don't know.
Be a nice little bridge or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
That doesn't exist anymore.
I don't know what in the world Jimmy was going to do next, right? I mean, I
think the plan was to be the backup in Vegas, I guess.
No, because I saw reports of they were going to release him.
This came out financially. It made sense.
Yeah, this came out a couple, and he was connected to Josh McDaniels. They were going to move on.
Right.
I just don't know. He's going to go somewhere, and I guess those two. You think about teams that are just kind of stuck. Do you take him if you're Pittsburgh,
right,
and throw him in that mix with the other mid dudes? Pittsburgh
That's
just has a bunch of the same dudes.
Like what kind of role?
Trubisky,
exactly.
We got Pickett. We're just gonna stockpile mids, and maybe somebody's cream will rise to the top. Who knows, man?
Yeah, but that's even tough though too, because like you said, he's going to be suspended the first 2 games, so you can't. You almost have to bring him in with the intention of him being the backup. You can't, have him not start the first 2 games, and especially if you're walking into a situation that has a rookie as his backup, you're not going to start the rookie their first 2 games of their career and then go away from them. So like, I don't know, is Tampa Bay like an option where he could back up Baker? Like they kind of already like Baker, but the odds of maybe Baker being their quarterback for 16 weeks or whatever, 17 games isn't that high. Geno maybe backup.
By the
situation.
way, what are your Vikings planning on doing?
They're probably going to sign Kirk and draft a quarterback. Is where it seems like things are trending right now.
I hope. Yeah. Would you rather that than bring in Hemi?
Yes. Yes. Every day of the week.
Kirk post Achilles?
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Specifically because that's what Justin Jefferson wants. But yeah, even myself, I would say I'd much rather take a flyer on Kirk Cousins for a year. Sounds like Vikings are going to be in the talks for moving up for possibly Jaden Daniels.
Mm-hmm.
I would much rather take that than dealing with Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm not really sure. There are coaches that finally make their way out of the rotation, Belichick and Pete Carroll. And I just feel like Jimmy may have found it. It's hard to say that though, when so many random QBs threw NFL passes this season.
Yeah.
That's why it's hard to say that.
Yeah. It's tough to try and find like the right spot for him because he kind of is one of those guys too, who's going to put pressure on any starter unless it's like a solidified starter. There's probably going to be noise for Jimmy Garoppolo at some point in your season if he's playing behind.
I don't know.
He's
bad though.
He's not great. He's definitely not great, but also he's got, he's got some tools. I mean, if you watched him last year, maybe, it depends. It depends how much of his previous aura is still around in terms of NFL, because NFL, I think they're getting smarter as a league, but the NFL still is a bit of a boys club, especially up top. And, if you like somebody from their time in San Francisco, a lot of the time those guys aren't really, doing the day-to-day scouting of, oh, Jimmy actually looked like trash last year. And they just have in their mind, oh, Jimmy Garoppolo is a good backup quarterback. He's no worse than Gardner Minshew. So why not bring Jimmy Garoppolo in? But I think the reality of the situation is dude's been hurt a couple times. If you watched him play in Las Vegas last year, he's a backup is a backup is a backup.
I think that's the kicker, though. I think it's not just that Jimmy has been mid. It's also that he hasn't been able to stay on the field.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, if you talk about connections, you got Saleh, you got Aaron Rodgers coming off of his Achilles.
You want to put that man in New York? Oh my God! In terms of he would thrive in New York.
Well, he would do very well.
Handsome backup quarterback.
He might be on The Bachelor if he ends up in New York. But you make him the backup in case things go awry with Aaron Rodgers, and then after that, that's probably the swan song for Robert Saleh anyway. And you just kind of start fresh. You're so young. Your team is. You don't need to kind of ride this thing out. If Aaron Rodgers goes down again, hopefully he doesn't. You get Jimmy Garoppolo, see how far that takes you, and then after that, we're just going to start fresh with something. Because I don't know, I saw something. I think it was Larry Krueger mentioned that on his show, somebody hit him up saying, "What do you think about Zach Wilson coming to the Niners to push Brock Purdy?" And
push Brock Purdy's suitcase.
I disagree with that for a multitude of reasons. But, I don't know that the Jets are going to continue to hold on to Zach Wilson.
I would hope not.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to the Bay, but I don't know why you would move on to Zach Wilson. And, okay, here's a question.
Another failed Jets quarterback.
Here's a question before we get to a break. Who would you rather take a chance on? And yeah, I'm going to do it. Jimmy Garoppolo or Trey Lance? If you are an organization, I'd say Trey.
Yeah, it's not. I don't even think
he's younger.
Question. Yeah,
just fully whiff.
You haven't seen it. I mean, it's almost like the Şengün thing where it's like Trey Lance at this point can be anything. I can mold him into anything.
They're two different markets, but they're also two guys. Trey is still on a roster, and Jimmy won't be in March. But yeah, the market for Jimmy, it's a backup, and I don't even know if it's bridge, and now you can't even start. Yeah. Your first two games.
The past two places that he's been is pretty much kicked him out of town. So what does what does that say about Jimmy Garoppolo?
But all he's got to do is smile.
Oh yeah,
and everything's all right.
Yep.
All right,
Silver.
More Niners, more Kings when we get back. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
At the UPS Store, we know this upcoming holiday is when things can get busy for small business owners.
Exactly. My to-do list and I don't take days off.
That's why you can count on us to be open and ready to help with every small business need, whether it's packing and shipping or if it's just to check your mailbox.
That's almost everything on my to-do list. My list and I can take the day off. Woo-hoo!
Your local, the everything to help you be unstoppable store. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable. The UPS Store locations are independently owned. Product services, pricing, and hours may vary. See Center for details.
If you're looking to get a new car, you could really cut expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive. Sure, you love your old car, but you know it's not normal to give instructions on how to open the window. It should be self-explanatory, but it's not. And notice how when you're in other people's cars, you can feel cushion in the seats? That's pretty nice, right? No, it's just normal. So bundle your renter's and car insurance with Progressive and put the savings toward a new car. It's time. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
When accidents turn life upside down, AutoAccident.com is in your corner. Compassionate advice, loyal support, and the courage to fight for you. AutoAccident.com. That's AutoAccident.com.
Hey, it's Doug Christie here for Folsom Lake Ford. During the President's Day Sell-a-thon, get 0 down deals on approval of credit, huge discounts, and top dollar for all trades. Shop your truck headquarters at FolsomLakeFord.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got good news. The American Energy Heat and Air $0 HVAC diagnostic has been extended to February 29th. That's right. It expired at the end of January, but want to give you all an opportunity who missed out to get in. It's a $99 value. All right, it's $100, and right now it's free. I don't know how much easier I can pitch that. Normally $100, now $0. Let the American Energy team test your system, your connections, and all the moving parts of that system to make sure it's functioning properly. And you know who's going to be coming to your home? A group of people that have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. A group of folks that have been making the greater Sacramento area proud since 1981. $0 HVAC diagnostic. Normally a $100 value right now at American Energy Heat and Air. Go to AmericanEnergyAir.com or call them to make your appointment. 916-520-9990.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Book your free T-check and free exam at Revive Men's Health Sacramento. Now also offering affordable, cutting-edge weight loss medications. Call 916-277-8599 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Hot off the press. This is from Scott Osler. Oakland in talks with Major League Baseball to get expansion team if city extends A's lease. This just came out 5 minutes ago, and this is exactly what I think Chris and I were alluding to yesterday as far as why the A's would entertain this. A lot of people in the YouTube chat, the Sac chat mob on the text line, why would Oakland entertain this? There always has to be a reason.
Yeah.
And this is from Scott Osler, the San Francisco Chronicle. There is a glimmer of hope for Oakland's future as a home for a Major League Baseball team and for the development of the Coliseum site. Although the Athletics intend to leave town forever, the Oakland Mayor's office and the Baseball Commissioner's office have had preliminary talks about the possibility of Oakland being guaranteed an expansion team in return for the city giving the A's a lease extension at the Coliseum. Also, Oakland is very interested in persuading A's owner John Fisher to sell his 50% interest in the Coliseum site, for which an Oakland group has plans for just a major deal. There you go. So that is why the city of Oakland was willing to meet yesterday. And it's all about guarantee for me, Chris. I need a guarantee.
But does that guarantee mean anything from the source?
If it's on paper, yeah, you're talking about a legal yes. It can't be we will revisit. It has to be yes, this is for sure.
If you can get that sort of guarantee, I mean, absolutely seek it out. I would not trust the players in charge of making said deal. I just feel like, I mean, Manfred said yesterday he's got an end date, apparently early 2029. I wouldn't believe him. I'm sorry, I just wouldn't. It's nice if you can. This is exactly what the city of Oakland should do. Try and leverage your situation to get something positive out of it, whether it is relocation or expansion, I should say, or whether it is just trying to save the name that is the Oakland Athletics. They got to get something out of the deal. I feel like expansion is a bit, I don't want to say pie in the sky. I just feel like it'd be really tough to try and guarantee that kind of situation without first, I think it's the reason why they're talking about selling John Fisher's shares in the Coliseum site, but I would think you would have to have some sort of, no pun intended, concrete plans to build an actual stadium, because at the end of the day, that's where all of this went sour in the first place, is they couldn't get a deal for a stadium done. So, I applaud the city of Oakland for doing what they're doing. This is definitely the first step. But if you're going to try and take the word of these guys who have done nothing but go back on their word this entire time, even to the point of leaving you, they fell back on that plan too. You just gotta consider the source.
Well, yeah. And, it's one of those things where, and I can't see, because it would just be so bad if they, went back on their plans. But you make a good point with Rob Manfred being out in 2029. Just make sure you read the fine print, because if somebody else new comes in and says, hey, that deal was with Rob Manfred, that was not with me. Right now, I don't think that they would try to pull a fast one, but you never know, because Rob Manfred, as he announces, he will step down in 2029, which I almost feel like is a troll job for making people wait that long. This is from
who announces retirement 4 years or 5 years in advance.
Who does that? This is from Manfred, and this is about, just the A's leaving and things like that. This is what he has to say. This is real, by the way. First of all, we do have a major league team in the Bay Area. It's not like there isn't an available option, Manfred said. The Giants obviously still play there.
Right.
But in terms of the other side of the Bay, the Oakland side of the Bay, our community involvement in terms of youth programming, all of the things that we do in major league communities will continue. I think it's a sign of our commitment to the community that we will continue that kind of programming. And as I said, most important, there is a fan opportunity that's not so far away.
That's
a real
There's
quote.
So many things wrong with what he just said. First off, why are you lying? You're not going to continue to do, maybe for like a year or two after the A's move, you'll continue to do community stuff just so you'll say you will. But I mean, it's just not true. You're not going to do that. And second off, I mean, the Giants thing, I'll almost just let you have the floor on that. But I'll just say Kings fans were never going to be Warriors fans. And I don't think Raider fans are ever going to be 49ers fans. So it's just it just, again, proves that I swear on everything, Rob Manfred doesn't like baseball. And I know he doesn't like sports.
A fan opportunity. That's my favorite
There's a fan
part.
opportunity.
There's a fan opportunity.
What does that mean?
He doesn't know.
Like a fan? I've never heard
He does not
that
know.
phrase in my life.
Yeah, he doesn't know, but he's
What
just
a guy.
kind of talking out of where. And he's just saying, hey, there is a team, right? You guys can all be a part of it. And it's just a kind of a bizarre take anyway. You should be trying to sell the Las Vegas A's, not trying to convince them to root for another team that they've never rooted for before. It just sounds like you do, if at the very least he's not a fan of a team in any sport. Because if he was, he would understand that
You can't
that's
just homie hop.
That's just not what you do.
Exactly.
That's not what you do. But that was
It's
a real
almost
quote.
like completely against what you do. As a matter of fact,
Yes.
like you build
Yes.
those rivalries. You can't just toss them to the side because your side isn't there anymore.
Yeah. First of all, we do have a major league team in the Bay Area. It's not like there isn't an available option.
That's just crazy. Again, like that would be like if David Stern told Sacramento, it's not like there's no team in Northern California you can root for. It's just an hour and a half drive to San Francisco or to Oakland, I guess, at the time. And, I don't see why Kings fans couldn't, expand to be Warrior fans. Well, it's because it's just not how it works. There's a bit of civic pride that goes into supporting your team too. Like everybody in Oakland, I mean, you could definitely tell me people from Oakland do not say I'm from San Francisco, right? Like there's a clear line of they are them, we are us.
Yeah.
And that part of it too is just being completely glossed over.
Yeah. Look, are there fans out there that might say, all right, I don't hate the Giants as much, but also there's a part of this that let's not forget that was what got passed was 100%, and the Giants had an opportunity to kind of.
Yes.
Honestly, I think the Giants missed a marketing opportunity, is what they
sure
missed.
did, but they don't care because they hate the A's that much.
Yeah,
they
because
really did.
if they just stand in solidarity with the A's and they did not vote for the A's to move. Yep. It was already going to move because they would have been the only team. So it was majority. Yeah. So if I were on the Giants, I don't know if that's marketing or whoever it is, the Giants operations team, I would say, hey, unless there's a reason that I'm missing, and this is me talking right now, unless there is a legal or whatever reason that I'm missing, why wouldn't we just stand in solidarity with the A's? We've come out and already said a statement that nobody asked us to make, and just say, hey, let's go ahead and vote against it, because not only will that make us look good to Oakland and A's fans, if they do leave, A's fans might say, you know what? San Francisco did try, right? It was never going to pass, but they did try. But the Giants didn't even do that.
Well, I mean, it would have looked a bit hypocritical. I think that's why, because the Giants have literally at every stop prevented the A's from trying to make it work.
The San Jose thing.
Yeah, and they've not been supportive of the A. They have not publicly supported the A's at all in this situation. And yeah, they have literally blocked the A's from moving places because they feel like, no, that's our territory. And if you guys are gone, the Giants are the first ones to understand that's really good for us, because now we can monopolize this entire market. And I mean, the Giants never wanted the A's there.
Yeah, I mean, look, I spent some time.
Maybe casuals would have been okay, like the more casual A's fans, but the hardcores, they would have known that this is just posturing and an attempt to do what you're saying and getting fans. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I just think it would have been smart for the Giants. It absolutely would have been smart for the Giants, because for people who don't know that background, they would have hopped on over and probably said what you said. But I think there would have been a loud contingency of people who would have pointed at the hypocrisy.
Yeah, I mean, look, I was in the peninsula for a bit, and San Jose, that area, they are hardcore Giants. I really don't know.
Right. They had a AAA team or AA there?
Yeah, I think it's single A, the San Jose Giants. And I just don't know how that would have worked. I get what you're saying, but that is straight up Giants territory. If it was, depending on how much they blocked, and there's so many ins and outs of this. We're gonna get some people on the show as this whole thing continues. But you're not wrong. I just think it I'd rather be on that side than the other side. Sure. But I understand this is from the 916. Baseball is not expanding anytime soon. I don't know about anytime soon. I don't know what the timeline would be, but who knows?
It sounds like there's plans, pretty, I won't say definite, but pretty much from the sound of it, they are planning to expand. I don't think they have an official year that they want to expand by, but there's been plenty of towns like Nashville, and even Portland has a big push. They're more than likely going to expand here sooner rather than later. But I don't know. I mean, even that is a good point, though. Even if the A's do negotiate and get the guaranteed expansion, there's no guarantee that expansion is going to come in the next 10 years. It could come in 15 years. It could come in 20 years. Who knows? We think it'll be sooner than that. But again, these things take a lot of time to actually come to fruition. So it is definitely another layer to I guess accepting an expansion as the thing that you're getting back.
Guys, I did type in here, speaking of fan opportunities, I did type into an AI chat here. It says for fan opportunities, while it may be difficult to replace the team you used to follow, becoming a fan of a new team can provide you with new experiences, connections, and opportunities.
Thank you, AI Rob Manfred. Thank you so much. And we are
just wanted more clarification.
No, thank you so much. And Dwayne Baker, breaking it down with the history. And this is a really good call that the A's helped save the Giants from going to Florida back in the early 90s by opening up San Jose. And the Giants didn't give it back, right? The Giants did not get it back. He goes on to say San Jose is only Giants territory because the A's gave them that market. I think it's a great point. And the Giants were, they could have been on their way to Tampa Bay. That was in 1992. From 916, before we get to a break, lifelong A's fans, I wouldn't root for the San Francisco Giants if they were the last baseball team on earth. If the Giants were a flavor, they would be vanilla.
Uh-oh.
Not even French vanilla. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, continuing the conversation, we have some funny sound from Tyrese Halliburton. More people's voices are changing. Why this keeps happening, we have no clue. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead. Outstanding ball movement by Sacramento.
Every triple, every jam, every Kings win.
Sabonis with the jam over the Joker. He's got the three-point shot.
Get your Kings fix all season long.
Right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light, Garner Roofing, and Roseville Kitchen and Bath.
Hey, California. Sellathon means big savings. Sellathon means great selection. Sellathon means 5 days to save. So visit your California Ford dealer now through President's Day and get great offers on the most popular Ford trucks and SUVs. Like the built Ford Tough F-150, part of Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 47 years and counting. Or the adventure-ready Ford Bronco Sport with GOAT modes to help you conquer the great outdoors. And the always electrifying Ford Mustang Mach-E with 0 to 60 thrills and 0 emissions. It's the Ford President's Day Sellathon. And that means now is the best time to get behind the wheel of your brand new Ford truck or SUV and drive it home today. But hurry, these offers absolutely end February 19th. So go to your California Ford dealer today. Based on 1977 to 2023 calendar year total sales.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
It's been estimated that we lose more than 400 million golf balls globally every year. Hitting it in the fairway is a great way to prevent lost balls, but Golf Magazine's Josh Sen says, we can do better, people. First, play the right tees. The architect designed the placement of hazards for different handicaps. Second, find a reference point. Pick a tree, a shack, or a path where the shot was headed, and keep it locked as you head off the tee. Third, maybe use a highly visible ball. You've got a better crack at tracking your ball if it's the color of a lemon or a tangerine. And anecdotal evidence suggests there's something freeing about knocking around a cartoonishly colored golf ball. 4, do not look away in disgust. A natural reaction to a slice or duck hook is to turn away. As hard as it is to find an errant shot, it's even tougher if you don't know where to look. And finally, be a good scout. Instead of fiddling with your phone, keep an eye on your partner shots. The more time you spend watching, the less time you spend looking. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Hey, it's Doug Christie here for Folsom Lake Ford. During the President's Day Sellathon, get 0 down deals on approval of credit, huge discounts, and top dollar for all trades. Shop your truck headquarters at FolsomLakeFord.com.
Whitey here reminding you that not all grills are created equal. Start your 2024 grilling season right with a new lifetime warranty Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers. My personal Napoleon P500 series gas grill has turned me into a grilling pro. It's incredible. Napoleon Prestige grills, versatile grilling for every occasion. Form, function, and luxury can come in the same package. Just go to your local Green Acres Nursery and Supply for the best selection today, or visit Napoleon.com for a dealer near you.
Doug Christie here. It's Folsom Lake Kia's President's Day sales event. Save on new 2024 Kias with low payments, low finance rates, and 0 down deals on approval of credit. Shop Folsom Lake Kia in the Folsom Auto.
The commissioner of baseball is AI. It was a very similar response.
Yes.
A very similar response. Bleep the Giants. And everything
That's
they
how you
stand
feel?
for and everything they stand on.
Yeah.
And anybody who stands with them.
I like local rivalries like that way more than like the Celtics Lakers kind of like the proximity just makes it so much more real, and it feels like there's just so much more passion behind it. Like, of course, all rivalries have a little bit of that. That's what makes them great. But it feels like, when you're having to deal with offices that have a mixture of them, or even families that have a mixture of them, it just adds like a layer that cannot be duplicated in any other way.
Yeah. By the way, premiering a new segment at 1:45. Shout outs and closeouts. Going to do it every Friday. So if you have a shout out, you want to shout out your dog, you want to shout out your cat, you want to shout out significant other, you want to shout out your favorite bakery that got you through, your favorite coffee spot, wherever, we'll open up the phone lines and you will be able to shout them out. Keep it quick so we can get a lot of people in. Also on the text line and the SAC chat as well. And the three of us will have some shout outs to get to. And that will be at 1:45 every Friday. So, you have the Niners who now have to live in this world of, okay, what's next? And there's actually something out now when you look at a name who has become a bit of a meme, whether he's doing yoga on the sidelines and things of that nature. But there's a lot coming out right now based on Kyle Shanahan and Brandon Staley having the same agent, the ties that are all kind of happening right there. This is from our guy, Akash Anavarathan. Kyle Shanahan and Staley share an agent, Richmond Flowers III, and Staley's already worked for Sean McVay, also a Flowers client. Staley's already interviewed with Matt LaFleur and Mike McDaniel this cycle, two other Flowers clients as well. Now, I know
all the Washington boys,
exactly
from the graphic.
It's literally everybody from the crew. Everybody is,
there needs to be a nickname for that crew, by the way.
Yeah, that is the tree that just keeps on growing. And look, he was not great as a head coach, but when he was with the Rams, they were the number one scoring defense, the number one pass defense, and the number 3 run defense.
Yeah, it seems to make sense. In that Rams defense that he did coach did have a good amount of talent. If we remember correctly, that was the team that traded all of the draft picks for essentially Jalen Ramsey. And of course, I think they had Bobby Wagner as well. And of course had Aaron Donald. It was a great defense that Rams team had. They were fantastic. It's just a little bit, it depends on how much you want to factor in the head coaching of Brandon Staley into this. Like, of course, he's not going to be hired to do that, but what went wrong there in LA seemed to be a lot of he couldn't manage the players. And that's obviously, you can know X's and O's all you want, but the ability to lead the men that are executing it is a whole different battle. And that seemed to be the problem. So, I mean, if Kyle feels like that's not a problem with their locker room, absolutely. You probably can't find a better guy. I mean, he's probably the best young coordinating name out there, but it just kind of depends if you feel, because the problem with Steve Wilkes was mainly the culture fit. And so I guess with this guy, with whoever the new person is that they're bringing in, I would assume that you would have to figure out if that guy is going to be well received in that locker room.
Culture fit, scheme fit, one of the two. Because Brandon Staley he's not very similar to D'Amico Ryans or Robert Saleh to me.
Doesn't seem
as far as the culture, but maybe it's scheme as well. Yeah. So this is from Brian Rennick, co-host of the No Huddle podcast, also editor for 49ers Web Zone. Yeah, to your point, Chris, about Brandon Staley, says, I think one available name to look for the 49ers DC position, Brandon Staley. This guy was a disaster as a head coach, but his one season with the Rams, and that's where he had the number 1 scoring D, number 1 pass D, number 3 run D. And then he goes on to say, who else was a disaster as a head coach? Steve Spagnuolo.
Yeah, that's true. For sure. I mean, focusing on one side of the ball, there's definitely the argument for it. And like, I do think, the responsibilities of the coordinator are completely different than that of the head coach. I mean, it's a good guy to get. It's just, again, though, how much of this too, at some point, should the Niners try and get somebody who's going to stick around for more than a year or two? Because Brandon Staley, if he turns that defense back into a number one defense,
man. It looked bad out there.
Yeah, but he's still so young. Like,
60
you
burger.
don't think he would get another chance? If he turns around that
Not in a
Niners
year.
defense,
Not in a year.
I could see it. He's so young. Like I could say, well, okay, not in a year, but maybe 2 years. Like at some point, like, do you try and get, because again, even Bill Belichick got to the point where Steve was his defensive coordinator. Like at some point you get poached so many times that it's, how do I just get somebody in here that I know isn't going to leave me or will be here for 4 or 5 seasons?
That's just part of the deal, though.
That
could have been Steve Wilkes, honestly. Older, it's got to be an older guy,
yeah.
I would say, and that what they want isn't going to be sustainable, right?
Sure.
These young guys that they're going to keep moving. And you had a great question when we interviewed Eric Kendricks last week, because you asked him about the 60 burger.
Yes.
He was just talking about, man, we were just embarrassed. We were just embarrassed, right? So, a defensive guy, your defense dropped 60 on you.
Right.
I don't think you can overcome that in a year unless, and maybe this is the whole point, if they win the whole thing, maybe. But I don't know, man.
He's going to be the first person
yoga meme.
Every GM is like, let's get that guy at least in the interview. If he leads the number one defense and he's the youngest coordinator and now he's got some Shanahan juice behind him, and let's see how good DeMeco Ryans continues to rise and whatever happens with Robert Saleh, I just think he's at least going to be heavily interviewed.
Yeah. Do they have
and
to
not
win
that
the whole,
should detract you from getting him.
Do they have to win the whole thing
in order for him to
be gone in 1 year?
I don't think so. No, I think if they have those numbers of the number one scoring defense and the number one or number 3 pass defense, like, yeah, he'll get interviews for sure. Steve Wilkes got interviews for whatever reason. He got interviews after this past season. So I just, again, especially when that's become a pipeline, I just think there's no way that he's at least not going to be interviewed. And at that point, it's really just a matter of if he would want to take that job over staying with San Francisco.
All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, you're not going to want to miss this. Daniel Tosh, ticket giveaway, 1 p.m. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Getting your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like discovering a refund tree has grown in your backyard.
I'm the refund tree.
Sawing off its branches.
Hey.
Feeding them through a wood chipper.
My branches! My beautiful branches!
And dancing in its refund rain. Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
Whether you prefer thrills or serenity, the 2024 Accord from Elk Grove Honda delivers both. With Honda Sensing Standard, the 2024 Accord is once again a winner of the 2024 Car and Driver's 10 Best Cars, making Honda the winningest brand in car and driver award history. Drive a 2024 Accord Hybrid and see for yourself what the fuss is all about. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
No fees on all Kings tickets happening now. You can experience Sacramento Kings basketball live with no fees on all remaining games. Watch as the Kings take on the top teams in both conferences, including big matchups against the Bucks, Lakers, Knicks, Clippers, and more. Score big on tickets and cheer on the Beam Team as they make a push for the playoffs. Don't miss out. This limited time offer is only valid until February 20th. Visit kings.com/no fees to take advantage of this deal today.
At the UPS Store, we know this upcoming holiday is when things can get busy for small business owners.
Exactly. My to-do list and I don't take days off.
That's why you can count on us to be open and ready to help with every small business need, whether it's packing and shipping or if it's just to check your mailbox.
That's almost everything on my to-do list. My list and I can take the day off.
Your local, the everything to help you be unstoppable store. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable. The UPS Store locations are independently owned. Product services, pricing, and hours may vary. See Center for details.
The venue's set. Families coming in from all over. It's our quinceañera. With all the excitement, it may be easy to overlook COVID-19. It's still a risk, and that's why it's muy importante to get this season's COVID-19 shot ahead of time. It helps protect against COVID-19, which can cause severe illness and hospitalization. So let's set the date, vaccinate, and celebrate. Learn about a vaccine option and book this season's updated COVID-19 shot today at schedulecovidvax.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions.
Jackson Hewitt!
Jackson Hewitt is so sure they'll get you your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson Hewitt!
Switch to Jackson Hewitt and we'll beat what you paid last year, even if you filed online.
Hewitt!
Ain't nothing to it. Switch to Jackson Hewitt and pay less for tax prep, guaranteed. Proof of prior year payment required when filing. New clients only at participating locations through April 7th. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
I like daffodils, tulips, the big dinner plate dahlias. I love being in the garden, but I wasn't going to be able to because I couldn't not only walk, but I couldn't really stand on my foot without being in pain. It was excruciating. So my husband said, let's go to the Good Feet store.
For over 20 years, we've helped people like Terry live the life they love without letting their feet get in the way.
This nice young man said, I think I can help you. He got the arch support and I was fitted. And I kept walking back and forth across the store. And I looked at my husband and burst into tears because it was the first time in a year that I have not had any pain in my foot. I have had no pain since the day I bought them. Now I can do whatever I want. There isn't any place on my property that doesn't have flowers blooming 365 days a year. I still can't believe it. My name is Terry, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
For sore feet, aching back, knee, or hip pain, come to the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, or Vacaville.
Hey, it's Doug Christie here for Folsom Lake Ford. During the President's Day Sell-a-thon, get 0 down deals on approval of credit, huge discounts, and top dollar for all trades. Shop your truck headquarters at folsomlakeford.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber, down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
It is time, as promised. Live Nation has teamed up with Sactown Sports for your chance to see Daniel Tosh at Hard Rock Live April 12th. All you have to do is hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline right now, looking for caller number
3.
Caller number 3. Caller number 3 to score that pair of tickets. Check out Daniel Tosh. For more information, visit SactownSports.com. 916-339-1140. 916-339-1140. Caller number 3 looking for your chance to win tickets to see Daniel Tosh. 916-339-1140. Simone will take care of you. Looks like I just saw number 3 come through. Your chance to win Daniel Tosh tickets at Hard Rock Live.
Brendan got mad at me because I said the other day he probably didn't know who Daniel Tosh was. And he was like, dude, I know who Daniel Tosh was.
Yeah, you never know.
I thought he was just a little bit too young. I was like, because, you know, he was like really huge on Comedy Central for probably like 3 or 4 years. And I couldn't tell if that was in Brendan's wheelhouse or not. But I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Brendan.
Yeah.
I will say, Daniel
I never
Tosh,
know with these kids,
the Tosh.0 definitely did kick off ridiculous. Like, ridiculousness is quite literally Tosh.0 without some of the punchlines that were Tosh.0.
Well, and also it wasn't just ridiculousness though. There were like 18 shows from that. Because here's the thing: if you're gonna say that, Chris,
All that.
if you're gonna say all that, then you have to keep going and say, well, there's America's Funniest Home Videos.
Sure, right. Which you could say is the OG of it all.
The OG of it all.
Yeah. But he kind of took it into like the comedy sphere of like, you know, it was a little bit more, you know, I guess it is kind of tough because I mean, Simone, I don't know if Simone's busy, so I won't bring her in, but what's his name? He had the soup, Joel McHale. Joel McHale had the soup, which is kind of similar, but it's more with like TV than like internet clips.
Yeah.
But Daniel Tosh also did have, I remember he had a segment on a show called Web Redemption where he would like give the like OG internet memes like a chance to like redeem themselves and not look like memeable people.
Yes.
And that's where I found out. You remember Chocolate Rain guy? You remember that? That was like one of like the biggest OG. Like he had, I cannot do his voice justice, but he had like a super deep voice and it was like Chocolate Rain. I can't remember what the song was, but yeah. That's what I remember most about Tosh Point.
Yeah.
It was definitely a moment in time.
And ridiculousness is still going on.
Oh, it's the only thing going on MTV these days.
They'll fire that thing up for
23 hours.
Days straight.
Yeah. I think actually the MTV programming is ridiculousness for 21 hours. Then they play Teen Mom and then they play 16 and Pregnant. And then if there's a challenge season going on, they'll play the challenge. And then the second that the challenge is over, there's no reruns of anything. It's just the only reruns are ridiculousness. They don't show any other program.
Don't sleep on Jersey Shore. Jersey Shore is still there.
Yeah, they're still kicking. They're doing like what, Family Vacation.
This is like Family
now.
Vacation part 3 or 4, and now Sammy is back.
I'm legitimately shocked that none of them have had. I think the situation was in prison for a minute, but like I'm shocked that multiple of them have not ended up locked up for just
he's
drunk and disorderly.
Clean now, which I think is pretty interesting to be around them and not drink. But I mean, I don't know if he has a kid yet, but his wife is always there with them.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah, it's a lot going on. And Simone, I guess we kind of led you there. if you want an opportunity to kind of say your piece on whatever you were saying on Twitter yesterday.
I'm so excited. Well, okay, I was thinking long and hard about this. I know we're a sports station, but we are going into the All-Star weekend, and I have a funny feeling neither of you guys have taken me up on the homework that I assigned you as far as watching the Traders.
I got to be honest with you.
Oh,
maybe I have to just give it a go. I'm a big trailer guy. I'll sit there and I'll watch trailers all day long. The trailer didn't get me.
Yep.
But I'm willing to give it a shot.
If I hear it's good, then I'm a lot more
willing. I'm begging you, it is so good. And it is a love note, a testimony to anyone who's watched reality TV in the last 20 years.
All right.
Again, I say, if you've watched Survivor, if you've watched Big Brother, if you've watched Housewives Like Me, Below Deck, it's just incredible, you guys. And it's really conniving and amazing. And I think you guys are going to have a great time.
All right.
What's it on? Rules. It's on Peacock.
It's on Peacock.
Interesting. Okay. There's a little bit of a barrier there.
From the 209 Traders, best show on TV.
Yes.
Most stacked cast of all time. You'll both be huge CT fans. I'm already a CT fan.
Exactly. I'm telling you guys, it's really incredible.
I did go home and watch the trailer. I did when we spoke the last time, and it didn't reel me in, but I'm willing to give it a go.
So good. And they're doing manipulation and reality TV in a way that I have not seen, where they are lying, telling some people some things, telling other people other things, and trapping people that way. It's just brilliant. And I guarantee the smartest person watches reality TV. That's my other bit.
I agree with that.
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't want anyone to fight me on that. But
No. I agree with you.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yep.
Is that it?
You've definitely sold me a lot more. I'm a lot more.
If you guys are interested in looking into the window of the human condition, maybe I'd recommend this show for you.
Okay.
Was that it? Mic drop for you?
Also big for me is Johnny Bananas a big player in this show?
She's back on the phone again.
Okay. Well, I'll just.
Is Johnny Bananas on the show.
I'm not giving you away anything.
Is he a big player? That's gonna be a big selling point for me.
He's in there.
Okay.
He's in there.
He's in there. CT.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You might
Trishelle, right? You guys
can't
know.
stand Trishelle.
Well, she's
From
in there
back
too.
in the day, right?
Yeah.
From
She's
back
there.
in the day.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
thanks.
People were
She's the
dragging
worst.
her. I was
They
trying,
should.
and I was really trying to be cognizant on not like hitting too many spoilers of things I was liking
Sure.
and wanting to retweet because I think it's really excessive. That I'm going to it for scheduled television Thursday night. I am there, ready, locked, and loaded. And I was trying not to like anything because I really genuinely would like you guys to try it this weekend.
Okay.
There's so many, and there's like, 8 episodes. You can binge it.
Sure.
There's not a lot of NBA right now.
Yeah,
Get
not wrong.
into it. Please trust my
I
homework.
mean, I'm over here looking up Jennifer Hudson's over under. So who am I to judge right now? Who am I to judge right now? Yeah, and Simone doing a great job for us. We found a winner. It seems like we found a winner for Dan Otage. So
Nice.
enjoy that in April. Yeah, I mean, so the Pacers, it's going to be a Tyrese Halliburton extraordinaire.
Love fest,
and
yeah.
you're just not ready. Are you ready, Chris?
I don't think I am fully prepared for what we're about to see because it's just going to be a lot of Tyrese. I mean, from literally the skills competition is going to be team Pacers versus team like top draft picks versus team All-Stars, and Tyrese is going to be in the 3-point shootout. He's going to be in the All-Star game.
Wait, he's also in the skills?
He's he don't know if he's in. Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, he is also in the skills. He will be on Team Pacers in the skills contest. He's also going to be in the 3-point shootout. He's also going to be in the All-Star game. It also wouldn't surprise me if he throws a lob to somebody in the dunk contest, probably Mac McClung or something. Maybe he'll record a podcast on the sideline. I don't know.
Can
man.
I
It's
ask
just
you
gonna
something?
be too much.
And you can be honest. It's
Okay.
just us here.
Yeah.
It's just here chatting.
Yeah, it's just us two and
Just us.
Simone.
Yep.
Do you care how he does in the 3-point contest? Would you like to see him lose? Does it not matter? Be honest.
Only because you told me to be honest. I don't care. I mean, I really don't care. I mean, like it'll be whatever. I mean, I don't want to see him win. So I guess in that case, yes, I would. I wouldn't be. I'm not going to be cheering for him to miss shots,
Sure.
but will he be my rooting interest in the 3-point shootout? Probably not. I haven't quite picked who I'm going to.
It's pretty rough for you because you got Donovan Mitchell.
It's all your
it's
guys. It's really tough.
And then you have to watch Steph with Ionescu beforehand.
No, it's going to be after.
Oh, it's after.
It's going to be in between the 3-point shootout and the dunk contest. That's honestly what I'm looking forward to the most. But
you definitely don't want Steph to win that.
Steph's not going to win it, but I definitely don't want to. If Steph, that would be all right. Maybe we can build my nightmare scenario.
Yes,
if
let's do
Team
that.
Pacers wins the skills contest, Tyrese then wins the 3-point shootout. Steph wins the Ionescu Steph battle.
Yeah.
And then dunk contest, I guess Jacob Toppin wins.
Because Halliburton will be there because his brother.
That's what I'm saying. He'll probably throw him a lob. I'm telling you.
Wow.
He's going to be involved somehow. He's going to find his way into this, and it's going to be like the in-season tournament all over again. It's more just I'm just tired of hearing about it. It's just like I get it. Tyrese is fun to watch. It's awesome, but it's just a bit much. It's just a whole lot of a bit much, especially considering our guys get no love at all. And when Tyrese Halliburton was in Sacramento, he was not getting this amount of love. Granted, he wasn't playing to this level, but it's just funny how it works sometimes.
Let's hear from Tyrese Halliburton because we get on Karl Anthony Towns. This one is just kind of.
This is incredible.
Yeah, this one is a little bit different than Karl Anthony Towns, and you got to hear it to kind of to understand. Here it is.
Sabonis is a great player, and they had other guys, but like I think for the more casual basketball fan, it wasn't necessarily appealing. Post basketball is not appealing unless it's Jokic or Joel or Shaq. You know what I mean? Like
you have two different voices.
I do. People say that all the time.
Did you hear? I didn't know if it was our microphone.
I never catch it. Like I watch podcasts after, and I'm like, dang, my voice changed. I don't know.
Mid-sentence.
Yeah. Did you guys? I didn't do it.
I wrote it down. Two different voices.
Yeah.
Wrote it down.
It just happened. It just happens that way naturally sometimes.
Incredible. Simone, can we just hear just Tyrese talk one more time? Because it literally if you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to show you how the voice gets higher and then lower in the middle of his sentence. It's insane.
Sabonis is a great player, and they had other guys, but like I think for the more casual basketball fan, it wasn't necessarily appealing. You know, like post basketball is not appealing unless it's Jokic or Joel or Shaq. You know what I mean? Like,
you have two different voices.
Crazy.
I do. People say
just
that all the time.
nuts. Like
that was really intense.
That needs to be investigated by some like federal people. What are we talking?
Studied.
What is that? How is that possible?
Yeah.
Mid-sentence.
Sabonis is a great player, and they had other guys, but like I think for the more casual basketball fan, it wasn't necessarily appealing. You know, like post basketball is not appealing unless it's Jokic or Joel or Shaq. You know what I mean? Like,
you have two different voices.
It literally sounds like the mic.
Did you hear?
That's crazy. Jokic. It sounds like the mic just ends up getting clear and then wild. Jokic.
I love it.
Is that also one of those things that you just literally don't realize unless somebody points it out to you, or do you think
I don't know because I've never heard anything like that.
It's crazy.
Necessarily appealing. You know, like post basketball is not appealing unless it's Jokic or Joel or Shaq. You know,
it's nuts.
Yeah.
Jokic or Cat or Joel.
Yeah, and I was also interested in what he was saying because he said Jokic.
I can't
Joel,
I can't even tap into it because I'm so distracted.
Was it a shot at Sabonis? I think it might have been. I actually think that was a shot at Sabonis. No one cares about posts unless it's the three dudes. And that team in Sacramento who got rid of me for one of those dudes is not one of those dudes. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, is there a team in the West that we are not worried about enough? Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Subscribe to Sactown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sactown Sports.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Welcome to the President's Day sale, happening now at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Celebrate with us and get huge savings on our giant selection. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company, sold on report.
Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
La La Land, that team in LA, maybe not this, well, definitely not this go round I was really surprised at the Lakers. They're lacking
nothing.
Yeah.
Whole lot of nothing.
Yeah.
And there was probably more smoke around them than the Kings even. Like they were DeJounte, they were just Zach LaVine, Caruso even, everything fell through.
Yeah, and now it is a situation where they are looking to get that big fish and really start the transition of the end of the LeBron era so that AD will have somebody. You have Jovan Buha talking about the Lakers being linked to Kyrie Irving, Donovan Mitchell, and I also saw Trae Young as well. They just want somebody to kind of be that second piece with AD. And to be completely honest with you, if they lose LeBron, none of those dudes adding any of those guys, I don't think that they are a championship team. They got to make a couple different moves.
Yeah. I just hate the fact that now we're going to go back to Laker fans getting in their bag and hitting up Photoshop again.
But I love that. Though.
I can't.
That doesn't bother
me.
me.
It drives me insane. It used to drive me crazy every single time. Here's Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Giannis, AD, and Russell Westbrook all in Laker jerseys. This is the future. And it was nice to not have those graphics pop up on my timeline every 2 days. Now we're going to go back to, you're going to see Trae Young. You're going to see DeJounte. You'll probably see Luka in a Lakers jersey graphic pretty soon. I can't stand it. This is when Laker fans are at their worst, is when they're star hunting, because all that they say is, dude, we're the Lakers, okay? People are going to want to play for us, okay? Like, it's a pretty big deal to, like, be a Laker. It's a big legacy, and so it's always going to be attractive to free agents. And I long for the days of when they had Brandon Ingram and Julius Randle and Lonzo Ball and Jordan Clarkson, and they thought their team was trash. Even though if they would have kept that team, Lakers probably would be competing for like the next 5 championships. So I just hope that one day we can get back to Laker fans not knowing how good they have it.
Yeah,
I can't stand them. I really can't stand them. Can't stand them. Can't stand them at all.
More than Warrior fans?
They both end up dancing on the same line.
We're all part of the same miracle.
Very much so, Vin. Yeah, they're kind of they're built from the same cloth. I mean, it's probably more the proximity of the Warriors makes it more annoying, but don't get it twisted. Laker fans, when they're in their prime, they might be goats. They really might be goats. Not even just to Sacramento, but just across the entire nation. They might be the most annoying, obnoxious fan base that there is. And I can't stand it.
In all of sports or just basketball?
I think they're pushing Cowboy fans for all of sports. I think so.
Because Cowboy fans, I think Cowboy fans, right? The thing about Cowboy fans is, oh, this is our year. This is our year. Isn't that how most fans feel anyway?
Yeah.
Right. Or how most fans want to feel.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing is also like, y'all are old legacy Cowboys. Like, I mean, Lakers at the very least, you could say like you can't tell the story of the NBA without Lakers in the 60s, Lakers in the 70s, Lakers in the 80s, Lakers in the 90s, Lakers in the early 2000s. And, the Cowboys, it's like y'all had one run. And I think that's what makes them a little bit more annoying, is the fact that, especially now, it's like y'all have not been up for 20, 30 years, and you guys are still acting like you're cream of the crop. That's what's, to me, so annoying about Cowboys fans. But Laker fans, it's never enough for them. Like, you guys have the most championships, and again, you guys will then, go from a championship team to building with young players, and that building period is too long. It takes way too long. God forbid you build like a normal franchise. They have to just jumpstart it by having some big name out there and building around him. And it's like, it's just not fair, because not any other team in the NBA can operate with that set of rules or that level of expectation. The Kings can't say, if we just put like a decent team around him, some star will look at our situation and say, I can elevate that situation to championship. Lakers, that's their goal. Lakers, Celtics, Heat, they're just like, if we build a decent team, we just need to get a star in the building and say, hey, isn't Jalen Brunson fun? Wouldn't you want to play with a guy like Anthony Davis, whoever your secondary star is? And then that convinces the star to go there. The Kings are never going to convince, Giannis Antetokounmpo to come to Sacramento. It's just not going to happen. It's unrealistic to have those level of expectations. But for the Lakers, they can factor that into their team building. They could say, hey, Luka's a free agent in 2026. If we position this thing right, we can at least get into the conversation. Maybe the Kings with Luka specifically could, but for most situations, you can't expect to have that be an actual outcome.
Do you think that affects scouting and how scouting is viewed for different franchises?
Yeah,
does scouting for the Lakers I don't want to say doesn't matter as much, but is it more important for the Kings and the Thunder and teams like that to scout? And you cannot miss, because you don't have that fallback plan of just somebody might just want to come here because we're the Lakers.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can probably take a lot more risks when you're the Lakers because there's a pretty much guarantee that somebody else will walk through that door. The Kings, you might have to take. I mean, you still have to take big risks, but the payoff or the bad side of that risk might end up crippling your franchise. And so you have to factor that in almost as much as you have to factor in the positive. In the Kings too, like if you're a scout for the Kings, you're probably scouting the draft. You might be scouting like some fringe guys on some other teams. And, you're mainly knowing that those are your two paths for team building is draft or trade. But the Lakers, I mean, they're probably barely scouting the draft. They probably scout in the league more than they scout outside of the league because their thought process is people will come to us. It's just we almost get to pick and choose which guys we want to go after.
Yeah.
It's just not fair.
It's not fair.
It's just not at all.
It is.
And the Warriors think that they're at that level, but I don't think I don't think in 5 years, if Steph's not there, I don't think people are going to say, I want to just go to the Warriors because that's a world-class organization in a big market.
No, when Kerr's gone now,
all that.
I don't know what Kuminga will be. Better know what
Kuminga
becomes, right? And Pajevsky, but it's not going to be like anything like what it is now. And honestly, and somebody will probably correct me if they are a Chiefs fan, I feel like it's a bit similar with the Chiefs. That's why there's so many connections between Patrick Mahomes and Steph Curry, right? I mean, if you look at the history of the Chiefs are in the best era of their
life. Of their lifespan.
Of their lifespan right now. And you are who you are right now when Mahomes, whenever he retires. Right. That's not going to continue the same way. Cowboys, a little bit different in football, but the Cowboys.
Maybe even the Patriots too, as an example of that.
Similar with the Patriots as well. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, it's finally time for All-Star Weekend talk, predictions, prop talk, and one very popular talking head in the space suffered an injury. We will get that audio for you and give you an update there. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
So Charles McCaffrey, a cutback run 30, breaks 340. McCaffrey midfield. McCaffrey 40, 30, 20, and toasted all the way down to the 3-yard line on the first play of the game. CMC Dynamite!
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
Zero down with approved credit.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my friends at Fire Wings talking about Wings Day Wednesday. That's right, 88-cent wings every Wednesday. 3-flavor lineup includes 7 classic, 7 dry rub, and 7 fusion wing flavors. It's the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. A great place to watch and enjoy sports with friends. 21 delicious flavors to choose from. Save time. Order online for pickup or delivery. Just go to firewings.com or download the app. Find a location near you. Order online. Earn rewards. Fire Wings. Just wing it.
Hagen Oaks is introducing the hot new Callaway Paradigm AI Smoke line of drivers, fairways, hybrids, and iron sets that are sweeter from every spot. AI Smoke is designed with thousands of real player data and a revolutionary new AI Smart Face for sweet spots across the entire face. Ask about the full line of Callaway Paradigm AI Smoke woods and irons and find your sweet spot at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at HagenOaks.com.
Doug Christie here. It's Folsom Lake Kia's President's Day sales event. Save on new 2024 Kias with low payments, low finance rates, and 0 down deals on approval of credit. Shop Folsom Lake Kia in the Folsom Auto Mall.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light, Garner Roofing, and Roseville Kitchen and Bath.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777. 7777. Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Maida Chevy has 2.9% APR financing on every new 2020 Ford Half-Ton Silverado in stock. 2.9 for 72 plus great Maida Chevy savings on new Silverado. Online at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's try.
Finance with finance for GM.
Awesome. Hey, babe, can you check the front door? My package is here.
Yeah, on it. Hey, are we still watching our show tonight?
New episode on Prime? You bet. That reminds me, let's hit Whole Foods this afternoon. We need snack supplies.
From package deliveries to entertainment and even fresh groceries, Amazon is in front of thousands of customers every single day. Learn how you can leverage their reach for your business. Text digital to 916-766-5105 now. Make the smart move. Text digital to 916-766-5105.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
63 games played, $160 million earned for Jimmy Garoppolo. That is $2.5 million per game.
Must be nice, man. Must be freaking nice. That dude, again, just one of the luckiest humans to have ever walked on this earth. Jimmy
Two-time Super Bowl champion.
Is that right?
Two-time.
Wow.
Put some respect on his name. Put some respect on his name. There you go, Simone. Now, we also have an update. This is really important out of the All-Star, the Rising Stars Challenge, the Celebrity All-Star Game. One of the coaches for the Celebrity All-Star Game injured himself. Oh, no. Yes. Stephen A. Smith has taken a tumble and he had to get x-rays. He will be coaching today. This is what he had to say on First Take.
Listen, they had to practice last night and Shannon didn't show up. You understand? So I go there because I got to scout my team, because I got to see who I'm going to play and who I'm going to put on the bench, because I'm not losing this game tonight, okay? And the next thing you know, that damn Micah Parsons is on the basketball court acting like he's trying to sack quarterbacks and stuff and pushing people around. So after that, they were sitting up there and he and I were shooting around, shooting against one another, and it was some sweat on the floor, and I literally was about to just pull up, just shooting. I literally bust my ass. I mean, feet flying in the air, and they were bam! You understand what I'm saying? I got up. It was like I was sliding. It was like I was sliding to the third base or something.
Not Micah.
It was that bad.
Sweat on the floor.
No.
Just the thought of seeing Stephen A. slip like that has me dead.
There's a video that I just saw.
No way.
I just saw a video floating around because at first we thought he got crossed up. But he initially gets up and starts shooting again. So I don't know what happened, but I'll show you the video. But luckily, Stephen A. is okay as we get ready for the celebrity.
It's no Tom Segura situation for sure.
I literally had that in my mind as Stephen A.'s breaking it down. I'm like,
no. So you have the Celebrity All-Star Game. We've talked.
Slipping on sweat is crazy.
We've talked about that. as well. And then you have the Rising Stars Challenge. You excited for the Rising Stars Challenge?
Not really. It's the way that they do it. I just don't really understand. Like, they have, I think, 4 different teams, which are just completely randomly picked by four people. It's like Detlef Shrimp, Jalen Rose, Tamika Catchings, and Pau Gasol, all picked between rookies and sophomores, and I guess some G Leaguers as well. And it just is not as. I mean, I didn't really watch the rookie sophomore game or the USA versus World game, but there's got to be a better way of doing it than this like weird tournament style. And I don't know. I feel like they can do something better with the Rising Stars. I don't know if you remember, but they used to do this thing. I think it was called the Shooting Stars, where it would be one WNBA player, one NBA current player, and then a retired player from like the Sparks, the Lakers, and, it could be an old Laker as well. Or the Kings, I think one season had, Tisha Penicheiro. You could have, Tyreek Evans and Peja Stojakovic or something, at the time. And that was the best one because they would have to hit like a layup, a free throw, a corner shot, a wing shot, and then have to take a 3 and then a half court shot. And it was a lot more exciting. Like for the All-Star weekend, it should just be, I know they tried horse, but it should be things like that. It shouldn't be how many semi-regulated games can we get in here.
Yeah, right. It's really like we talk about with the show all the time, pull back the curtain. Well, what are you trying to get out of this?
Exactly.
What's
the goal?
Yeah, what are you actually trying to get out of this? Just so in case anybody was wondering, you have Keegan Murray, who is on Team Tamika.
Yes.
So that's where you will find
probably
Keegan
the
Murray.
Best team, I would say. He's got Paolo, Dyson Daniels, Jalen Duren, Keontae George, who just had a massive game. He's got Scoot, Jaden Ivey, Keegan, and Vince Williams. That's probably the squad I'm going with.
So you got to think Keegan is going to take a couple threes. Keegan Murray, he's set at 5.5 points.
Interesting. I guess that would just be 2 threes, right? That's kind of dependent too on if his team advances because.
Well, it says against Team Jalen, so I don't know if they then.
Oh, they update it.
I guess.
Every game.
I guess.
Yeah. Again, and for everyone out there, 1-800-GAMBLER. If you are betting on Rising Stars Challenge, I'm sorry, it's going to be fun. But if you're betting on Celebrity Game,
it's fun.
It's fun. It makes it a lot better than just watching it dry for sure.
But you would take the over, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, well, no, I'm just saying.
Hypothetically speaking, I would take the over because also like the chances that you get a ton of there's not going to be any defense played. So the odds that you get a couple leak out dunks or Keegan taking a 3 in transition. It's probably I don't know how they do the time. I don't know if it's like a timed event, if it's a scoring, like if it's to a set score, but they got
Wemby at 9.5.
Over. I have no idea. I don't know how we're supposed to do anything.
I'm just saying. And why is Mac McClung in this?
They threw some G Leaguers in there. Ron Holland. I don't think Ron Holland's actually going to play, but there's a couple. I think Team Detlef has all of the G Leaguers in them.
Didn't he just get the automatic from last year, Mac?
In the dunk contest, he did.
Yeah.
But for the Rising Stars, I think it's just he's already going to be there, and so it's like, hey, why don't you go out there and just play?
I'm not hating. It's just this is where he makes his bread and butter. He'll get signed to a different team based on that, and we'll go from there. All right, you have like you mentioned, Chris, our picks for the Kia Skills. All right, Team Pacers, which is Tyrese, Benedict, and Miles Turner. Team Top Picks, Paolo, Anthony Edwards, and Wembanyama. Team All-Star, Scotty Barnes, Tyrese Maxey, Trae Young. Who you got?
Well, I know Tyrese is going to try, so that's really half the battle, to be honest. I'll go Team Top Picks. I feel like Anthony Edwards is just competitive in general. Wemby's got to have a moment. It feels like this would be a cool one to have in the skills contest. I'll just go there. I don't think the All-Stars are going to care much. I don't think Trae Young is going to care much. Who knows? I'll just go with Wemby. I got to root for Wemby. I saw he was working out with Jamal Crawford too.
I
So
saw
that'll be an interesting wrinkle for Wemby if he can start to pick up some Jamal Crawford moves.
I'm going to say that it's just always hard because it always feels like the home team has so much pressure.
Right.
Yeah,
right. So
nasty work.
so you said team top pick, so I'll go with team all-stars. These are three guys having great seasons. Tyrese Maxey, Scotty Barnes really taking that leap. So I'm going to go with team all-stars there. Let's move forward to the three-point shootout.
Oh, boy.
Three-point shootout. And you already said you're taking Sabrina in the Steph Sabrina.
Yes.
Okay, there you go. All right, for the actual three-point contest, Malik Beasley, Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Halliburton, Damian Lillard, Lauri Markkanen, Donovan Mitchell, Karl Anthony Towns, Trae Young. Karl Anthony Towns is going to try too hard.
I think Cat's already won one, too.
That's why he wants to be known.
Exactly. Yeah, he wants to be known as the best shooting big man of all time.
Donovan Mitchell is used to chucking him up.
Sure is. He sure is, but he also misses a lot. So.
I got to go with the only lefty in the field. I got to go with Jalen Brunson.
I wanted to go Jalen Brunson, too.
Yeah.
I feel it. I like Jalen Brunson a lot. He's having the best year of his career right now. I think I'm going to go Jalen Brunson, too. I think we can agree on that one. I think Brunson feels right for this kind of competition. Tyrese is he's going to try his ass off, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
I think he's going to try too hard.
Yes, exactly.
It's what's going to happen.
Who's going to Kevin Herter this year?
Honestly, you know who's a sleeper? If I wasn't going with the left, I would randomly say I was watching the stroke last night. Lauri Markkanen. Lauri Markkanen might be a guy, he's a bigger dude, but I like Lauri Markkanen. I think Damian Lillard will have a rough go. I have a feeling Damian Lillard is going to have a rough go.
I could see it. I could definitely see it. My pick's going to be Malik Beasley. I'm going to pick Malik Beasley to be this year's Kevin Herter and hit 3 shots the entire time.
I would say sleeper to win it, Lauri Markkanen. I would say sleeper to brick it up, Damian Lillard or Trae Young. Those would be my two. I don't think Tyrese will embarrass himself. I just don't think he'll do good enough. And last but not least, which by the way, can we admit that at this point in time, the 3-point competition has moved ahead of the slam dunk contest? At least for me, it has.
Yeah, I feel like that's the consensus. That's arguable. Like people are.
I would push back. I think that the dunk contest still is the main event.
No.
Like I think that's the thing that everyone looks forward to the most. Whether or not it lives up every year is kind of
fell off.
TBD, but it definitely fell off. But to me, the 3-point shootout never has any excitement.
It definitely does.
I mean, like it's like, they're hitting threes, but there's not like you will never get the same reaction from a crazy,
no, you
them
won't.
Clearing the rack.
But you might not get that reaction you're talking about for 3 years.
You probably will. I mean, you just got to get the right. Like, there might not be big names in there, but you'll get big. Like Mac McClung last year was not a big name, but he set that. I think he had 4 50s.
Yeah,
like he can set the world ablaze on Twitter. Jaylen Brown. I feel like the dunk contest. I feel like every year people like to say the dunk contest is dead, and it was for a couple years when guys like Glenn Robinson III were winning.
Yeah.
But I mean, if Jacob Toppin wins, who knows? But I think Mac McClung is a big enough name in the basketball world that if he goes crazy again, I definitely think it's going to be a moment.
I'll watch.
Last year was a moment.
Yeah, I look.
Tell me who any memorable moment from last year's 3-point shootout besides Kevin Herter missing every 3.
Unfortunately, we got to get.
Does anyone remember the fact Damian Lillard took off his jersey and showed like
give us a pick? Jaylen Brown, Mac McClung, Jaime Jaquez, or Jacob Toppin?
I'm going to take Jacob Toppin. No reason at all.
You're taking Jacob. I'm actually going with.
I'm going to go
Jaime.
Jaime. I'm going Jaime.
Well, then I'll go Mac McClung again. All right, got to get to a break. Line up the calls right now.
Yes.
We are getting it going for shout-outs and closeouts. Calls, text, Sack Check. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! C-A
Hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Hey, California. Sellathon means big savings. Sellathon means great selection. Sellathon means 5 days to save. So visit your California Ford dealer now through President's Day and get great offers on the most popular Ford trucks and SUVs. Like the built Ford Tough F-150, part of Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 47 years and counting. Or the adventure-ready Ford Bronco Sport with GOAT modes to help you conquer the great outdoors. And the always electrifying Ford Mustang Mach-E with 0 to 60 thrills and 0 emissions. It's the Ford President's Day Sellathon. And that means now is the best time to get behind the wheel of your brand new Ford truck or SUV and drive it home today. But hurry, these offers absolutely end February 19th. So go to your California Ford dealer today. Based on 1977 to 2023 calendar year total sales.
Plantar fasciitis feels like pointed, sharp pain, very intense. It can make your eyes water. It makes you walk funny because you're trying to get pressure off your heel. I had instability. I was so frustrated. I didn't know what to do. And I was driving past the Good Feet store. I mean, why not? Give it a try.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Teresa actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
They wanted to make sure they fitted me with the right thing. And so they brought out several different arch supports and gave me the opportunity to try them in shoes and walk around with them until they found the perfect ones for my feet. I had no idea that they would be that patient, and I had no idea they would be that kind. And you just knew, like, your feet, just when they got on the right ones, they were like, oh yeah. And it really did make a big difference. It made my foot not hurt. I'm Teresa, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
All right, Uncle Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and me the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Jiffy Lube, your place for oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. Hey, for valuable coupons and a location near you, visit jiffylube.com.
With RT Painting, our name says it all. We are a reliable and trusted commercial and residential painting company serving the Sacramento area since 1998. Employee-owned, our attention to detail is second to none. Put our decades of experience serving our community to use for you. Get a free quote today. Call us at 916-900-8112. That's 916-900-8112. Or go online to rtpainting.com. That's rtpainting.com. RT Painting, your trusted and reliable painting contractor of choice.
Are you ready for the deal of a lifetime? This week only during the President's Week sale, get ready to rev up your savings at Elk Grove Kia and elkgrovekia.com. The doors swing wide open every day at 9 a.m., and we're unleashing the biggest selection of pre-owned and brand new vehicles you've ever seen. With so many options to choose from, you're sure to find the car of your dreams. But hold on to your seats, because here's the best part. Our prices are slashed to the bone, and they're so incredible that we can't broadcast them. You have to come down and see for yourself. Don't wait. This is a 1 week only event. And to make it even better, you can drive away with your dream car right on the spot. No waiting, no hassle. Just instant delivery right on site. Remember, the President's Week sale happens this week only at Elk Grove Kia and elkgrovekia.com. Doors open at 9 a.m. sharp. Elk Grove Kia, where the biggest savings and the hottest wheels await during the President's Week sale, only at
Elk Grove Kia.
When the unexpected happens, trust AutoAccident.com. Loyalty and compassion set them apart. They're with you every step of the way. AutoAccident.com. That's AutoAccident.com.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
916-339-1140. 916-339-1140. The first edition of shout-outs and closeouts coming up very shortly, doing it every Friday. Line up the calls, line up the texts right now. Your chance to shout somebody out on the radio. You want to shout out your daughter's basketball team. You want to shout out your son's soccer team. You want to shout out the flag football team. Maybe somebody made a great pastry for you. Your pets, your friends, anybody. Okay, get on the phone line right now, 916-339-1140. Also, you can text us and hop on the Sack Chat mob as well. Chris, this is coming out from the Giants, from Alex Pavlovich. He was on the Giants Talk podcast. He says, and I know Jimmy Garoppolo just went down, so you want to make sure everything is chill here. Luis Matos definitely bulked up. So Luis Matos is looking big, but this one gets even funnier. Marco Luciano, quote, looks like Fred Warner.
Oh,
so these dudes were in the gym.
Okay.
These dudes were in the gym, and I don't know that I like that for Marco Luciano for everyday shortstop. That sounds like you're headed towards the corner.
Yeah, I think I saw, just to add to the Giants beefing up, I believe I saw Susan Sussler say she saw Amir Garrett, who I sent you the other day, just signed a minor league deal.
About that life, yes.
He apparently is in phenomenal shape as well. So I don't know, maybe, they kicked out Kapler but kept his gym equipment or something. But
nicely done.
I don't know.
Done.
But yeah, I mean, sounding good, I guess.
There you go.
Looking good, I should say.
All right, we see the calls starting to roll in right now. Keep them coming. Let's go, Chris. Let's go with our MVPs for the All-Star game.
Yeah, these ones are always tough. I think Jason Tatum was it last year with like 50 points, and I think him and Jaylen Brown combined for like 190 between the two of them. Man, as much as I've been pushing against this, I feel like the entire show, it's gonna be Tyrese Halliburton. I'm gonna hate it. I can't stand it, but I can imagine Tyrese. His voice is gonna change probably like 6 times in that acceptance speech.
It's growing. Your animosity is growing.
It's gonna be Tyrese's weekend, and I think that it's gonna be the cherry on top is him getting All-Star MVP. And from what I experienced last year at All-Star Weekend, like 80% of success for All-Star Weekend is effort. And I think him, it being in Indiana, it already kind of being the Tyrese Halliburton season, or the narrative at least has been that. It feels like it's all lining up perfectly for him to capitalize on this weekend and have a big moment for him for sure. So my pick's going to be Tyrese.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a guy who you might not realize. I'm stuck between Tyrese and also, one of the bigger players, but I think it might be honestly Tyrese Maxey.
Could be.
Yeah, I think it can be Tyrese Maxey. He's already kind of popped up on the scene. He's the favorite right now to win most improved player, much to my chagrin.
Right.
So I think it's going to be Tyrese Maxey. All right, it is time for shout outs and closeouts. Line them up on the Sack Chat. Line them up on the on the text line as well, and we will get them going. Chris, let's get you started.
Yeah, I'm gonna shout out my old alma mater, high school alma mater, Christian Brothers. They advanced in the first round of the playoffs last week, and I believe both teams are playing tonight. I'm planning to go to the women's game over at the high school, so shout out them and shout out all the teams and schools out there that are competing in the basketball playoffs right now. Hope to see you at Golden One Center for the CIFs. That's always one of my favorite events to go to every single year. The CIF championships they've been in Sacramento for as long as I can remember. You get to see, I've seen Lonzo Ball play there. You saw Aaron Gordon play there. It's just a really cool event. I got to see Sabrina Ionescu out there as well. So really excited. And it's just like I said, it's one of my favorite things to go to every single year, the CIF championship. So shout out to all the high school ballers out there.
There you go, Simone. Got a shout out.
Super quick. Shout out Caitlin Clark. I know we started the top of the show with her, and I just want to give her a big shout out doing the damn thing going into the weekend.
There you go. Shout out to Caitlin Clark. Shout out to, of course, where I'm going to go. Shout out to college baseball starting today.
Right. Yeah.
Sac State. They play today, I think, at 2 against LMU, NorCal, SoCal. So hopefully Sac State can get it done. This is on the from the 209 Walter from Stockton. Shout out to Kyle Larson, the local boy from Elk Grove, is going to win the Super Bowl of a race in the Daytona 500 this weekend from the 209. Shout out to my son's football team, MJC Pirates, 3-peat champions.
Wow.
Going to 3-peat, sent with a loud effect. Let's go to
Playing
Ward.
Football even now.
I would like to shout out Scott Pollard and the donor of the heart that he was meeting. I hope it all works out according to plan, and bless the individual that donated their
Great
heart.
shout out.
Let's get to the calls. We got JR on the line. JR, who you got for your shout out?
Shout out to the NFL refs for being so sweet, not calling any holding on the Chiefs on Sunday.
There
Love
you
them.
go. Thank you, JR. And we have another call right here. Luz, who is your shout out?
My shout out is for my son, Alan Stiles.
Hey!
And all the investments that his parents made in him for sports, all the way up to Temple University.
Okay.
You did a great job. You and your partner, Chris, you made Sactown Sports proud in Vegas. And I just want to shout you guys out because you know what? Got to give you your flowers, mijo. You and Chris. Got to give you all your flowers. Beautiful.
All right. Thank you, Mom. I will talk to you soon.
That's
She
incredible.
does this, but doesn't respond to my text messages. That's the
So
problem.
powerful.
Thank you, Mom.
Love it.
Thank you.
Lou.
Yes,
best.
thank you very much. Also, on from the, here we go, the 530. Shout out to my dog, who is always there for me.
Ooh.
Shout out right there.
Can we shout out Nate for planning to have a great Valentine's
Yes,
Day? We got to
yes.
get an update. That'll be the closeout portion. Typically, we've done a lot of shout outs today,
Mhm.
but we're going to try and close out any, open-ended stories that we told throughout the week. Hoping Nate can have his Valentine's Day.
There you go. Yes, better late than never. From the 503, shout out De'Aaron Fox for showing fourth quarter Fox has resurrected.
Man.
Last game. Go Kings, baby. That is from Manny. All right, got to get out of here. Thank you to Simone for doing a great job. Stiles and Watkins, thank you for listening all week. Enjoy the All-Star game, the All-Star festivities. You know that we will as well. And Drive Guys up next. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Keegan going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings